Now,
All right.
Ooh.
Oh man. Woo! I'ma tell you. Yeah, lucky we don't give you one more fucking jazzy ass song, man. Shit, that should be rocking, like my homeboy said. Welcome, welcome to the king of the late nights. We're starting off with the chief engineer, Chaos Frame, myself, the officer of the goddamn law, the black Superman, the black Dynamite, Charles Faulkner Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Give us a like. If you do feel inclined, please donate. See, tonight we're going to speak on ruffling a few feathers. We're going to talk about an issue that a lot of ladies out there seem to have. A lot of men out there seem to have. Why can't the black man build / win, and why can't they rescue the community? Do you think that's going to ruffle some feathers?
Let me read it again. 'Cause I want to sit in with me. Let me read that time. Why don't black men build win? Why can't they rescue the community? You mean the community? That's what you mean, bro?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Ooh,
oh man,
here we go.
Is this a trigger show? Is this a trigger topic right here?
Oh, it's not only going to trigger, but my nigga, we're going to find the answer that everybody's been having this great quagmire about. See, what we're going to do, first and foremost, is that we're going to put out some real good information to save this nation. Okay?
Yep.
I'm going to just say this on a humble. When you're talking about rescuing, when you're talking about why can't you get up on there? Why can't you do certain things? It's really because, one, and one thing only, how you see your men is how the world sees their men. Did you give these black men while they were young the tools to build? Or did you only look at them as an ATM, somebody to lift heavy furniture, fight your battles with the men that you should have been messing with in the first place? Yep. Did you let them become the cannon fodder? We shall soon find out. Do you truly look at your men as a prince? And a prince, by definition, is the son of a king and queen who's next in line to become a king himself when he becomes older. Or do you really say that, or do you really mean it? And I like to come with the question, if it's true, why are your boys doing so poorly? You brag about the 6 generations of women in your families, but you never brag about the great men. What race of people who's ever existed never put any emphasis on their boys? Who's going to protect you? Who's going to lead you? It is a foolhardy conclusion to really think that you will proceed before your men. A little bit of background noise.
Bro, it's me? You sure it's not
a little bit? A little bit.
I'll mute myself.
I got to turn something down. Okay. It's a foregone conclusion. Now, we're not even accessories because you actually put accessories and treat them very valuable. I would actually I would actually take that as a compliment if we were treated as accessories. We're treated like the throwaway guns of the community. After you do your damage and your dirt, you toss them aside and or you bury them in a ditch, never to be seen or heard from again. Why can't we build? When you looked at your son the day he was born, did you look at him as a great ruler or did you look at him as a subject? Subjected to your treatment, subjected to your rule, subjected to his environment. That's what we really got to think about. Good night, Mella. See, Mella had a good point. To answer your question, our people play backwards. I don't think they're playing. I sincerely don't think they're playing. Ever since we came to this country, were we looked at as great men? Well, we should, because not all of us were slaves. I mean, you wouldn't have DC without Benjamin Banneker. There were African natives who traveled over here thousands of years before Columbus. I mean, great empires were built during ancient civilizations where we had in Egypt and Nubia aqueducts. But let's get back into the 20th and 21st century where we have something called Black Girl Magic, where you would take the most normal, the most ordinary thing you could do. Oh, I go to school. Okay. I pay bills. Okay. I raise my kids. Okay. What is spectacular about that? Spider Man or Spider Woman in this case. You can't find a man on your level. I wonder why. Nobody ever likes to talk about the feminists, the white feminists of the 60s and 70s, who some black women were the tag team partners of these such movements, undermined their men because they had this false sense of patriarchy. Oh, well, if they're men, they're just like the white guys, and they'll keep us from ever getting jobs. Give me one time in history black women didn't have to work. You've been working every goddamn since you've been here. If we were such a patriarchy, how come you are number one in our community when it comes to college graduates? You know, I might have to beat the Honorable Dr. Tiason Johnson on speaking about black male alleged privilege versus black female certain privileges. You look at it, you're 5 times more likely to drop out than your white counterparts. Your schools teach you in such a effeminate effeminate and reverse towards your nature way, your natural way of thinking. You have to really say, are these schools pumping out young black men to be geniuses? Are these schools making it so you can have a real life Wakanda? Once again, shout out to Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace, power in paradise. Are these schools building the next set of leaders? Because what you really want to tell us is that your educated class, which are your women, are going to make policies that does what? Benefit them and them only. You wonder why you can't get married because you were never taught to be a wife. You wonder why you can't find a man on your level because you took his job or you gave it to some white chick who called you sister but still told you to get in the back of the line of her. The reason why these black men can't build is because, number one, there's not enough of us who are successful. You need more people within the professional trades and degree men to pull this community up. You wonder why we can't win? We've won many battles, but we have an ongoing war. How many sons have you lost in this war? Whether to poverty, drugs, prison, or death itself. You pretty much put your army on a silver platter and served it up to be sacrificed. See, I keep hearing about all these Illuminati theories that, oh, for certain people to make this type of money, fame, and success, they had to sacrifice someone to get it. Well, I'm going to give you a small little hypothesis. Are black boys the fucking sacrifice of the black community? You heard me. Are the black boys and the black men the sacrifice for the rest of the community? I'm going to piss a lot of people off by saying this. Black girl magic only exists because of black boy mediocrity.
Yeah, man. You cannot have one without the other. And a lot of women, they're fine with that. They say, oh, this little nigga right here, oh, he's just my little plaything. He's my new husband. Who does that stupid
Mm-hmm.
shit? Only us.
And,
As
and,
rich
you,
people.
and you don't even raise him to be a leader. You raise him to be a servant. If he ain't doing shit to serve you, fuck him. If he ain't cute and dressed up like the guys you wish you could have dated, or the ones who got you pregnant, fuck him. Once he's no longer cute to carry around like a baby doll and he starts getting expensive, fuck him. You'll have women out there and some men who will pay for all these AAU and other sports activities thinking that they're going to live off some hoop dreams and not give them a tutor. What did Dr. Tia Son Johnson say? 14% of our black boys, when they reach the eighth grade, can actually read on grade level. Sup, underrated? Woo! But yet, every time you have a system, you got to talk about the girls. No. You talk about the girls. You can't build when you're dismantling your army. Shout out to underrated doctors for the cash app. Thank you, bro. You can't build, you can't fight off supremacy, racism, and white supremacy when you're dismantling the weapons to fight it. See, I don't care how strong and independent some of these women think they are. You never were the threat. If anything, you've been weaponized against your own people. Not all, but damn sure too many. It's a damn shame that a mother can birth a child and don't even see him as successful, don't even want him to do well, but you pity him instead of inspire him. It's a damn shame, man. You make him into this engine of destruction instead of a god of creation. You look, I mean, just look at it. How you see your men is how the world sees your community. It's how the world gonna see your men. You proudly say these men out here ain't shit. You got a feminist, a fat feminist like Miss J, coming out here talking about, oh, well, they were right about the child support laws, but not a goddamn one of you broads will do anything about it to change it. You know why? Because you got all the fucking cards in your favor. Well, black men they shouldn't try to be players. Well, guess who taught them to be players? If 75% of the fucking kids are by the mother in this community, because guess what? I've been on these calls where mama come up there and tell her, that bitch, that ain't his kid. She condones it. She's a part of it. How many times have I been on there? She coming up there. There's an issue between the son and the daughter, and mama coming up there to send the son. That bitch has always been trouble. That's probably not even his baby. But y'all the ones who saying, oh, my son gonna get all the girls. I mean, I'm not I'm not somebody who does investigations, but 2 plus 2 has to equal 4 at some point. If you really want to make the men accountable and responsible, give them the sons. Oh, well, I can't teach him to be a man. Then what was the best possible man in his life that you could get to teach him to be one?
Mm-hmm. I do a good job by myself. I said, no, you ain't, bitch. You're not doing a good job. Look at the rate of this community, And mind you, we all know the state incentivizes this degenerate behavior. I understand. I get it. And like Mr. Samuel said it best. And I forgot to even pull up no fault divorce. I will do it eventually in due time. That imagine you as woman, you can't just jump in and jump out. That's not how shit works. Once you're in, you're all the way in. See, one thing with men, we don't have the luxury to really jump in and jump out to any situation we're in. That's why I tell you that if anything, I gotta be honest, and this is gonna hurt a lot of women. Men probably have deal with relationship much better than y'all.
I mean, you gotta look at it, chaos. See, men, especially black men, we're always gonna pay the price. Ted DiBiase once so famously said, everybody's got a price. Some may cost a little, some may cost a lot, but everybody's going to pay. See, you not only got to deal with shame, you also have to deal with child support, child custody, visitation if you get it, spousal support if you were the married ones. But guess what? I've said it once and I'll say it again. When they talk about this privilege that men get, oh, well, the men should be building. Well, guess what? In order for a black man to go to college, he's got to fight tooth and nail. He's got to be on some shit, on some grimy shit. For you to go to college, all you got to do is have a baby. I'm gonna just tell you, I think the men want relationships that are long lasting before the women. There is no way in hell you're gonna tell me that, well, the men, they should have done this with the sons, then give them the boys, and you pay child support. Why should we have to pay? Because the plan you are using currently has failed. Like Oliver Queen said in Arrow, you have failed this city. You have failed this community. You have failed society. No accountability to your children. A lot of you proven what we always hypothesize with Corona. You had to stay with your kids all this time and you hate being a mother. You'd rather go out there and work than to teach your children properly. You know why? Because society and the educational system, the institution that all indoctrination falls under, has taught you to be a man. Think like a man and your ass will be without one. How is that going for you? You're the least married, most overweight, most uncooperative. You bought fucking shoes and clothes that does not fit, and you paid double the price. And you wonder why your sons can't build. How many times you put money out for him to be a tutor? I'll even say this. Even those who get child support, how much is that money going towards your kid's education? Is he getting tutors? Is it put up for his college fund? Or is it spent on a little red wine that you need once in a while? I mean, really, let's tell the fucking truth. You literally get access to so many things black men, unless they join the military and they have to work their ass off to get. You get a baby, you get fucking transportation, if not a car. You get housing, educational, babysitting vouchers. You literally, and then who do you, what's the old trick? You usually put your mom or your sister who ain't doing shit and have them as your babysitter, and you pay them a little bit of money. You pay them some money and you split the money and keep the rest. The old hustle. But you never put it towards that boy's education. You know the stats. And the sad part about it is, Chaos and panel and chat, everybody knows the statistics. Everybody knows how rough it is for a young black male. But ain't shit nobody's doing about it. Status quo. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. As soon as one of them gets killed out there in the street, they could literally have a gun in their hand, get shot by the police. Here comes these broads marching. Where was this fucking love while he was alive? They could be guilty, bad, whatever. The cop could be wrong. He could be right. He could be justified or not. Where's all this love prior to that incident? Because you don't give a damn. You wonder why he can't rescue you. You did the equivalent of putting fucking a kryptonite chain around Superman and you're falling from a building your damn self. And the worst part about it, not only did you put him in a chain, you shot him with a kryptonite bullet in the fucking chest. You go out of your way to deconstruct anything that would benefit a black boy or black man. So much so that you think if we get a leg up, you think that we're gonna either leave you alone, oppress you, which historically has never happened, or you know that you cannot equal his success. We just got off a show where a chick who's 5'5", 5'6", who weighed 240 pounds, her fucking heaviest was 280, and you're calling a guy like Kevin, and you really think he's going to justify saying that you're right for a high tier man? Sister, you're not even right for a man, period. I mean, really, you don't even believe in yourselves. So we will be foolish for us to think that you believe in us. Most young black boys who make it, who really make it, is usually because there's some other person, some other black male looking out for his ass. What's up, DJ Moss? So when you actually look into this and you go even deeper, you have to ask these real questions that say, do you hate your boys? Do you really have something against them? Why is it that you'll tell your daughters, don't rely on a man, but yet you still want that man's access to wealth? I had female friends of mine from high school when we did the podcast about the Marcus Houston and his wife. How the fuck is it you're gonna say your grandmother and your mother taught you how to think, but you want to be married? If I was your husband and I saw you put that in the chat, I'd have left your ass and said, you fine on your own. That's how you think of us. Like we can't make a decision. You don't even want us to make a decision. You want to be the queens of chaos instead of the servants of logic. Because you know goddamn well if that goddamn community was ran right, all eyes would be on you. I said it. I said it again. If it had to be ran correctly by the men, all eyes would be on you. In 2 years, maybe even 3, if you gave black men overall the ability to get the benefits that y'all receive, we would be a nation to be reckoned with. Instead of this folly, instead of this joke. But also, folks, what happened to these strong black women? Let me check with my counsel. Shut the fuck up. You can't say you're strong when somebody else is fitting the fucking bill. You can't claim you're educated when you're going to the people who are diametrically opposed to you and your being. You're not educated. A lot of you are just indoctrinated. You had a buddy of mine, was she who will not be named during overtime, and she basically told him over on the radio, in his face, when she said it over at KGA, such and such is a woman acting like a woman. He needs 10 more minutes to get ready. Might add you, she's a fucking brand new sergeant, less than a month in, promoted. Black woman saying this to a black man. Oh, he's like a woman. He needs 10 more minutes to finish getting dressed and ready. But by God, if you would have been a black man saying that to a black woman, they'd have demoted your ass. And I told him, I said, you should have wrote on it. Well, I'm not going to work for her again. No, 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 no. See, the problem is you motherfuckers take shit too easy and let people know you're going to respect me. And I told her about that shit. I said, now, when she got promoted, I'm still on the list. Still got a month and a half left, even though I took the sergeant's test for this year, too. But anyway, here it is, right? She's promoted. And you're saying some effeminate shit to a black man out in the open in front of all these other white boys who work with him on the radio, which is recorded. And I'm supposed to look at you motherfuckers like y'all my partners? And I love black women, but guess what? Military science dictates know your enemy and know them effectively and be accounted for that enemy. You pretty much go out of your goddamn way, not even to be on code, but to fucking effeminize a fucking black man in front of a bunch of white boys? But if you do the same, here comes the EOC complaint. And this is from another educated sister, right? My homeboy Mike was like, she'd have never done that to you. Of course not. Because I asked me down there in fucking Kirk Avenue with me. And trust me, I'd have been the first motherfucker to say, dude, I would have punched you in your fucking teeth if you were a dude. But this is the type of shit black men go through every day with their women. They give you a little position and it goes to your fucking head. But yeah, newsflash, the other chicks don't fuck with you. Hey, what's up, Real Iron? Collins, woo! I told her that one time before. Some other motherfuckers don't fuck with you. The first goddamn thing they'll do is sell you out. And you'll be the fucking scapegoat holding the money and the smoking gun. But yet, you think they're gonna allow a black man to do that shit? VGS once said it best. You can tell who is in charge when you look around and you can see who you can't make fun of, who you can't talk about, who you cannot criticize. And then you wonder why black men can't build. You know why will everybody else build? Because their women support them. Their women defer to their logic, to their judgment, to their intellect. Their women prop up their boys and their girls, especially the boys, to say, no, you don't have a choice to be a failure. See, a great father expects your excellence. After a while, a mother's going to accept your mediocrity. Yet, you constantly have babies by guys who can't take care of them. You know why? Because you get that baby fever. You don't care who the fuck you can have it by. You go on shows like Kevin Samuels, trying to see, well, I think it's wrong what you said. Fuck what he said. And did you actually get the message of what he said? Fuck all that. And I'm not, and sorry for that, not fuck what Kevin said, but fuck her, what she said, actually. You don't even get it. You don't even get it that you're such in poor shape. You're such in poor attitude. You're even such in poor intellect because A lot of these colleges do not even let you think in such a freestyle, linear mode. They let you become these abstract thinkers, which, by the way, I hate abstract art, and let you go all over the place with your thoughts. But yet, you had a woman prior to the one who was severely overweight. You literally weigh as much as a goddamn defensive end in the NFL, who was probably a foot taller than you. Where the fuck was I? You had one woman who said she was comfortable being a mother before she was a wife. How the fuck are we supposed to build when you don't even have dignity yourselves? Why should I build for you?
Charles, if I may, it's ironic. That's the same thing with T.I.'s step. I don't know if it's his
No,
daughter.
that's his daughter, biological.
She feels it's okay just to have the baby, no marriage. So nothing an incentive over it. And it bothers me that another woman that's God, she was born in the 80s, like us. She says she's fine to just tag along with a man that's about to be 40 this year, or he might turn 40 next year, and said, as long as I'm gonna wait until he's ready. Listen, bitch, you don't have time to fucking waste. This story has a kid, and he already let you know from what she said he doesn't want to get married. So why the fuck are you still wasting time? Yeah, I'll
Because
tell
they
you what
can't
the
get
answer
any,
is.
they
Because they
can't get
are
any,
emotionally attached.
because they can't get anybody else. That's why. I've asked
That
this to
that
a lot of my
yeah.
female friends who are
Mhm.
married and these long term because they can't get anybody else. Because
Yeah.
they're a bunch of fucking wall hitters. And I'm not just talking about physically. I'm talking about emotionally. You're so fucking emotionally stunted that you can't even have the empathy for your own goddamn men, your own son. You're so fucking stunted that it's about you. You know the one thing I never heard a woman say on any of these panels, with the exception of, like a China White, Nicole Ali, Char Willie, Simply Unique, a Miss
Mhm.
Gigi. With the exception of those, you know what and especially on Kevin's channel, you know what I
Mhm.
never heard one woman say, what could she do for that man? Ask not what you could do for me. Ask what I could do for you.
Yeah.
The reason why that man can't build is because you're a fucking liability and not an asset.
Mhm.
You can't even make a comfortable home for that man to come back to because you know he's gonna put in fucking hours at work. I had my ex-girlfriend that I said it the other time. She said, guess what? I'm sorry, you were right.
Mhm.
Your boy almost had a fucking triple bypass or the scene.
Mhm.
I understand what you were going through. I didn't understand it then, but now I do.
Mhm.
My sister always told me this shit. Two times a female's gonna be truthful when she's too old to lie and nobody's checking for it anymore, and when they're broken.
Yeah. They got
See,
somewhere to run back to.
see, when you're broken, it's a motherfucker. It's an eye-opening coming to Jesus, Allah, Yahweh, and Buddha. Coming to Shango moments. Almighty Shango and Almighty Thor tag teaming on your ass with reality. You thought it was easy till you had to put your ass out there in the woods. You thought it was easy to all those females who think I'm a sexist. Oh, you can scream all you want about me being a sexist till you got to take your ass out there in the field for a week or two. So you're the one called upon to go rescue Marines of Fallujah. It's real easy to complain, but you ain't put no fucking skin in the game, no sacrifice. Why should I build for you and not just build, period? See, the women are supposed to be the inspiration that the society is built upon. But yet we have
Yeah.
a trouble. We have trouble with this.
Hmm?
When you look at us like we're not capable, when you treat us like we're not capable, when you treat us like we're innate, like we don't have a fucking brain, or we're not adult enough to handle tough situations, how much building are you going to get out of us?
You barely lucky to get a piece of wood chopped down.
When you don't inspire that man to be the Superman that he can be, and you constantly want to be his kryptonite because you're scared that if he gets great, he's going to leave you. That's your fault, not his. Once the rose-colored glasses are taken off, the face of reality peeks through. He'll understand why you ain't shit. I've asked many of women, why do you date men that are so-called beneath you? Well, these are the only men around. No, these are the only men you qualify. This is your qualification. Well, that's not fair, Charles. Let me talk to my constituents again. Uh, Life ain't fair. Thank you, constituents. Thank you. Damn it, you beat me to the punch again, constituents. Your sons. Back to the sons. Who are the future men of this community and this country are more likely to quit and drop out of college in the first year. Look at that shit. Who prides themselves off of failure? The men gonna have to build. Well, the men always build. There's a lot of these broads out here with degrees who owe their degrees to some dope boy and some educated guy, either tutoring her or doing the goddamn work. And probably the dope boy paying for the books. Oh, but they don't talk about them stories, do they, Chaos? See,
Yeah, yeah. You might have to repeat that. Yeah.
no, I said how many chicks owe their degrees to the dope boy and
Oh,
the
that's
educated
yeah. Oh,
guy.
that's easy, bro. You know, if they bust wide open for that real nigga, yeah, they'll pay for their little school fees. You know,
And some of them
they.
don't even talk about their little sugar daddies they getting paid carry their college.
Oh no, they don't mention that. No, they keep that secret.
But 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 we don't build though. But
No.
somehow we still propping you up to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow you're scared for your son to leave for college or to go to the military to become a man, because a man is supposed to leave his family to start a new one of his own. But I don't want him to leave. It's dangerous out here. Here it is. You got all these places out here. You're not even the face of the black community anymore because she wants to take control. She got the little boy, and I remember that it was that painting. I forget which. I think it's Newsweek. You got the black woman on top of these little Capitol steps with the little boy right behind her hugging the leg. You know what I looked at? I looked at as the representation of black men. Oh, we're too afraid to go out there and fight. Wait a minute. If y'all never took the ass whippings, we're the reasons why you got equality, equal rights, civil rights, and all that other bullshit. Your entitlement is sickening. I'm gonna open it up real quick. If who wants to get on and say their piece? If we got trolls, fucking ban them. Tonight is not the night.
Do we got trolls for real?
No, we don't got them tonight. But if one of them motherfuckers come up there, if I don't know the motherfucker, I'm gonna ban them.
Yeah.
We're gonna open it up. I want to hear from everybody, male, female, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
I want to see what everybody thinks about this not building.
And please be honest.
Please be damn honest. Because I'm sick of this motherfucker shit about people not building. Did you see that what is that called? What is the show called for Sister George and Concrete Rose?
To be honest with you, I was on another brother. Actually, to be honest with you, bro, I was on O'Shea's panel today.
Hmm.
For I think the very first time I've been on his panel. It was very helpful.
I gotta go check it out. I think it was funny because they had Miss J on there, who's a known feminist.
Yeah.
I swear, black feminists make me puke.
Yeah.
Well, the black men need to stop being players if they really want to be wives. How could I want a wife when you don't know how to be one?
Mhm.
Yes. He'll be like, well, you're telling black men to play the field? Yes, they should, till they find a wife. And not to take you seriously. If a motherfucker will stay engaged to you or date you for 4 to 8, 10 years and not propose and not marry you, you're a dumbass.
Mhm.
They'll be like, well, you congratulating that brother? Well, yeah, he's obviously smarter than you. If he could use up all your great reproductive time and to take it from you, you allowed it. It's no different. It's no different than if he had a little bit of money
Mhm.
and he got a chick pregnant who he know he should have got pregnant.
Yeah.
And he's surprised he's getting taken downtown. Like you don't know this game yet, brother.
Mhm.
See, I want to talk about the tools that we're supposed to build this community up with. What tools do we have, Chaos?
Well, the tools the black man has are a variety of things. His tool belt is one of them. His intellect, and his initial drive to really be creative. I'm not sure if that's clear enough. I mean, you could probably.
I mean, I want to ask this question: is his drive being tamped down? Is his creativeness being killed? Is his tool belt being cut from his waist?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I look at it on a fundamental scale, a mother is going to pick the best possible father and candidate she can find.
Mm-hmm.
But Officer Faulkner, you got to understand, it's hard out here. Stop doing this, chick. Stop deflecting. Stop deflecting. Stop deflecting.
It's hard being a single mother. Wait, what you said?
Would you say ping, ping?
But
ping.
Charles, there's too much dusties. What?
There's too much what? There's too many dusties, but you're getting pregnant by them?
Yeah, just one chick said she's sitting there getting dicked out by a dude that don't even know if he works. You can't make this shit up, my dude.
No. Don't even
So
know
it
where he
tells me you
works.
intentionally getting raw dick. And you know that if you get knocked up, because that's what happens with sex, I don't give a fuck if you're wearing condoms or taking birth control. Anytime you attain sex, you're putting yourself at risk. Bitch,
Mm-hmm.
keep it in your pants.
But at the same time, they want to blame the men.
Yes.
See, I would be 100% with blaming the men if we could take you to court to say we could get an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
I would be 100% with you if we had the rights to do that. If we could sit down in court, have a mediator, or a judge, some type of magistrate, to say, you know what, I didn't agree to her get to having a baby. She said she wanted to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanna I wanna be either financially emancipated from the kid or we have to get an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
If that could happen, I would 100% be down with it. But because this guy can get raked over the coals, you're gonna go for what?
You're gonna
Hmm.
go for the money and say, well, it's better get something than nothing. I said, wrong, chick. You that doesn't seem logic. You're getting crumbs.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
And let me tell you something about child support, because I don't really worry about this at any time. That it's a racketeering, and it's racketeering on people that they'll take more advantage. Because non-blacks, yeah, they pay it because it was really designed for them. But to us, it's like a death sentence, my dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna
When
tell you what.
they see that black man and they see that black woman and say, "Oh yes, I could start rape the shit out of this nigga."
Hmm.
That's the
And
first thing
then
they do when they see black men.
and here's the crazy part. A lot of them don't even get the money, all the money, because they got to pay court fees. The court got to take their couple of dollars out of it,
Oh
so
yeah.
the child doesn't even get their money.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I say?
Mm-hmm.
Each time you fail, this is what I do: smile, like I swear to God, man, be like my man from American PI. Turn around, smile, like my hands are the shit. See my man, he chilling by the boats. Hey, but yet you choose family, you choose greatness, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. That's why that one chick was so happy to say, I could be a mother out of wedlock and have a child there. You
Mm-hmm.
got such a fucking loser mentality. That's the reason why you keep getting with losers.
Mm-hmm. You're getting knocked up by a loser.
Look at your brothers. Look at your little sons and your nephews. Are they being pushed to be the top tier men of this country? Or you choosing them to be servants?
That's a good question.
Are you pushing your fucking boys like a motherfucker? Do you even have a bookshelf in your kid's room?
Shit. Black people got bookshelves, period, bro.
First goddamn thing I did with my son's room was put a goddamn bookshelf, whether if it's a comic book, a science book, whatever. Read it, and
Yeah.
if you get a piece of paper, whatever words that is hard for you to pronounce or you don't know the meaning of them, write them down.
Yes.
But you know what? If you can't find a father, if you can't get child support from him, guess what? You're gonna get a check for putting your boy on Ritalin.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna medicate him. Uh.
We're gonna
That's
put
a
you. We're gonna fill your son with so much drugs. It makes seem like the drug dealers look bad.
we're gonna make Pablo Escobar be like, yo, come on, man, that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never seen a bunch of group of these so-called top tier women never get a man.
Yeah.
You don't even want political power. You don't even want to say, you know what? This is the best possible man I could get. I'm gonna humble myself and I'm gonna be with him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's what I'm seeing from a lot of women right now. You know when you get the hey big heads.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can you do me a favors? It's a joke. What's up? Yours truly, John. Dave Teo, what's up? What building blocks have we established? Think about this, man. You know what black men have built? Black men have built recreation centers, havens, even taking in young black men when the mama threw him out.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hear any mention of this. You don't hear any mention of this shit. What's up, underrated?
How's the brothers doing tonight?
We're doing great, brother. Thank you again for your contribution. Again, like always.
Thank you again. Styling and profiling, shit talking and dirty walking. We got Miss Gigi up in here. Hey, girl. Woo. See,
Ooh.
woo. See, black men have always built. We've given you security. We fought your wars. We've even been stepfathers for children who may not even respect us and raised them as our own.
Ain't that
I mean,
something?
look at Zion's stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
Taught the boy to get where he was. He thanks his mama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't say one damn thing about the stepfather who taught him basketball that made you a millionaire overnight. But you had to thank your mama.
Yeah. You know, I
But
want to, but I ain't gonna cut you. I got to say this, and I know it's gonna hurt people. I know it's gonna hurt some women feelings, but I don't care. I remember like once upon a time when you see like NBA players or either or ones that play sports, they
Mm-hmm.
come from the two family household. You see them do well. They are very equipped to talk, be down, talk about social issues. They was the ones that fight for us as men to be allowed. And I find out of my lifetime, everybody the men's lifetime too, in sports, we see even that some of these men that comes from single family households, single parent household. I mean, they always talk about, oh, I thank my mother, but they never thank the coach. And the coach has been there more than just a coach.
I could attest to that, man. In 20 years of coaching, soon to be 20 years of coaching, do you know how many mothers donated snacks? Not even shoes, just snacks, uniforms, like anything. Only one in 20 years. We're the ones chasing your son down to make sure he passes the grade to be on the team. We're the ones who get called by the teachers when a child's not doing what he's supposed to do. You don't even fucking show up to the school. I had one teacher call me when the motherfucker got in trouble. Couldn't even get in touch with the mother. Didn't even know who the mother was. I came up there. They saw my face so many times. They thought I was the parent.
Mm.
But what did black men build? We build the stability to let the few black men who fucking make it past the system. We build the bridge. We said, get on my goddamn back. I'm going to carry you across. That's what we build. See, we are not the bad guys of the community. We are, in fact, the fucking superheroes. See, we are the human shields. We're the ones taking the bullets, the ass whoopings. We'll take all the bad publicity. How many of us put even our fucking girlfriends and wives through school? But yet, this shit pisses me off right now. But yet, I hear about why don't we build? How can we build? How can we put one brick up when you're picking up when you're taking two at a time down? I want the fellas to answer me this. I want some ladies to come up here too. And Miss, I would love for Miss Gigi and whatever and whoever female, and if John want to come up here as well, I don't mind it because we need to have a serious conversation about this. Because we're not even getting respected for shit that we actually build. And see, people want you to. Oh, that's a little bit.
Shit.
That's a little bit coming from you. So, with chaos and underrated, see, this is the shit that burns me up. When a black man builds, do you support? If a black man opens up a stand and get a peddler's license and he's selling lotion, why the fuck you still going to the fucking high price ass fucking stores and not support that man? But yet, you'll go out of your way to criticize us not building businesses. Guess what? The brick and mortar is gone. A lot of these brick and mortar places are not going to be available in the next year or two, thanks to COVID. How many times have you looked down upon your fucking child's father and ridiculed him? I made it my goddamn divine mission to leave a woman's life a little bit better than what the fuck I found it. Oh, Charles, you're an asshole, but you can never say I'm effective. I'm not. I'm ineffective. Well, Charles, you're so mean. I'm not mean. I'm just asking you, why are you still doing the dumb shit? Why are you still putting us at risk? I don't mind saving you when you're in legit danger that you cannot help. When it's something that's above your pay grade, sure. But why do you keep constantly going down into the pit of despair, about to reach the lake of fire, after I just saved you from the motherfucker? I'm sorry. I do not mind working hard for my family, but I'd be damned to die from it. I don't think it's fair for those older black men to die 40 years before their women. And their legacy is forgotten. The reason why you got half of these houses is because a black man joined the military, fought whatever wars, fought whatever racism, fought whatever prejudice. And then when the man's dead and gone, you don't even thank him for it. He doesn't even get a portrait over the goddamn fireplace. We'll celebrate 6 fucking generations of women. Where's the fucking men? You wouldn't have 6 generations of women if the men didn't give up their lives for you.
And I have to say this, Brother Charles, and Brother Charles too. And the men that fought, and us as black men that fought the wars. Where's the thanks for that? Where's the thanks for that? I said this a while because my late father fought in World War II, lost 2 fingers, came back. He came to get a GI Bill. So he had to do truck driving. to make it. I had to take dirty roles so he won't have to worry about getting killed.
Mm.
And in all these years, I mean, my father been gone for like over 31 years, but I used to have talks to him. We used to have talks, and you see the hurt, how this country has treat black men. And I used to like shake my head and everything, why he's bitter, why he feels that way.
And one damn person used to say, you know, why
Nothing.
should we? Not even a goddamn thing.
Nothing.
You
And
wonder
that,
why he had score. You wonder why he had fucking arthritis. You
hmm
wonder why. You wonder why he had fucking pains in his lower vertebrae, which he should have got him fused. See, the black man has always been the beast of burden for the black community. At least horses have been treated better. Hey, Miss Gigi, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Lo-
Can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna turn back my mic. Tell me if you still hear it. I might have to attach my microphone if it's
No, we
still
hear
it's
you.
still there. Yeah, but it says some echo.
Not really.
No,
All right, good.
you
So,
good, brother
We
Chuck.
good.
all right, good, good. All right, I addressed it. Good.
So I wanted to get because Chaos, Underrated, and GG. I'm usually called a sexist because I don't like women, especially black women. Go figure.
Mm,
Oh, they always say that. Oh, when this I gotta say this before you get to Miss Gigi. They always call us sexist when you have men take up for men and boys.
hmm
yes.
It's always like that. It's always excuses. And I want black women, when you hear this, I'm not talking about you, Miss Gigi. Your black woman, for God have for Christ's sake, say goddamn something. God damn it, say something. Because
Mm,
sooner or later, we getting deaf ears. We are tired.
These
I
are
actually see men when I was growing up, y'all, dying a broken heart.
yeah.
Yeah. Lonely.
can
Yeah,
Not a
I
person.
say something?
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
you
Miss
might have to
GG. Go
speak
ahead.
up a
And
little
I'm
bit.
gonna speak
You sound
Polish
low.
because
Speak up.
I'm not. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
hear
can
you a
hear
little
you.
better. A little better now.
Mhm.
Okay.
A little better.
Um, I'm just gonna speak for a woman of my, of my level, because
Mhm.
some women are just not there. They're just gone. They've been hurt so much. They've been abused, whatever. So I don't. It's not like I blame them, but some of them just act way out of way out of their what they need to be. But what I will say is that I feel like when a black man is speaking about black things, if it's not about hating black women in general, because some of them go to the extreme, but if they're talking about certain characteristics, because there are people out there that are just wrong, they're just wrong, and we got to speak on it so we can correct the situation.
Hold up.
We can
Speak
find
up a
out.
little. Speak up a
Okay,
little
hold on. Let
closer
me
to your
turn
mic.
this.
You're coming in, but you're a little low. But
Can you
speak
hear me
closer
now?
to your mic. Oh, you sound
Can
wonderful now. Go ahead.
can you? Okay, because I have to cut off my earbud. I think it's the earbud. Um, some women are just like out of their character. They're just not really. Okay, so when a man speaks, to other great men, not the ones who speaking against hating all, let's hate these black women and they all need to go and they're all the same, blah blah blah, and they're all liars and all this, and I'm going like, who are you talking about? Because it ain't me. But then I have to go look. I get it. They're hurt too. So I don't deal with them after a while. I'm like, nope, because I only deal with the greatness. Because I know what you guys are doing is teaching great men to become great performers, become great, you know, warriors, become great men. Because it's hard to be a black man. This is why people. At one point they were like, oh, you bad. They were calling me all kind of names, and this is coming from my own people, my own black men. And well, I don't call them men because they're boys talking crazy because they ain't been raised by a man. And so I'm sitting there like, what? They're calling me. I'm like, I don't even deal with white dudes like that. Like, I sing with them or I make money with them, but I ain't, I conduct business, but I'm not sleeping with them. So I don't understand because they will never understand how to treat me as a black woman. They couldn't get it because I wouldn't even feel comfortable letting them know anything about my blackness. So it's surreal to me that people would come at me like that, and I'm like, they find little excuses to make it make sense to them. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be right.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
yeah. So I understand the level that you're speaking and how people say, oh, you may be me. Yeah, but you know what? You've never come at me the wrong way. You've
no.
never off
Mm-mm.
the front, never raised your voice. None of you guys have never raised your voice at me. The ones that do, I check them real quick because that's not how you do a woman, a real woman.
But
See, have you ever noticed, Gigi? If I could, if when there's times when I'll be like, hold on, you know what,
Yeah.
you and the other ladies who usually get to this panel, they'll stop out of just respect for the masculinity.
Yes.
I don't have to raise my voice to a real woman.
You don't. You really don't have to.
no.
I just have to tell her, hold on, sweetheart.
And that's all we need.
And most of the time, just like I had you, notice what we all did. We muted up while you spoke
And that's very respectful.
because this is the part that I try to build off of. See, I hate it when they talk about what has the black man built. It's called fucking America. It's called every ground we touch, we built something on it.
And
Okay?
you guys help build great women also
Mm-hmm.
because you lead us.
Mm. See, I'm glad you said that. See, Miss Gigi, back in the day, even though you're a woman, even though your daughter's 21 and you're about 25, but
Mm-hmm.
but back in the day, my father and grandfather used to say, my they used to put their wives, my grandmother and mother, through school, and my dad would drive a cab 60 hours a week in the 80s. And
Yeah.
he would hustle so much during that time, he was capable of furnishing a house with brand new furniture. This is the 80s, by the way. A TV in every room,
Hmm.
them old school brass bedroom sets, which weren't cheap in the 80s, you know, had all this shit going for it. And then two cars on the street. Guess what my mom and grandmother did? She taught the hell out of them kids.
Hmm.
Even if she had a part-time job, even if she worked a full-time job, I've said it. I'm okay. We'll get this. Nothing excuses me from being a man, but god damn it, nothing will excuse you from being a lady. Support your men. And let's say you think all these black men ain't shit. Okay, we'll give you that. What are you doing for your sons? Something you physically birthed.
Not even your sons, your daughters too, because even when I was, when my daughter was younger, I used to be like, well, wait till your father gets home, because sometimes I can't discipline her like he can, you
Mhm.
know.
And you know what's funny? He didn't even. A lot of times, fathers didn't even have to put a hand on you. It's just
No.
it's just that presence. It's
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
like you could literally hear the Darth Vader theme song going, darn, darn. Oh shit! Like the old shit factor just come off of you. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just start crying once you hear that door start unlocking.
But do you know what she does? She calls her father first before she calls me.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Because that's called because every girl. You gotta understand something. A son will outgrow his mother. He will become his mother's protector. Sometimes the mother's provider when she gets up in age. Because the one thing that was beautiful about the Black Panther movie is that it taught you that eventually you're going to have to step up. You're going to have to step up. And I prepared you. See, a father prepares his son for his death. Some deep shit right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I'm supposed to prepare
Yeah,
my
that's
son.
deep. That's deep.
I'm
It is.
supposed to prepare my son for my inevitable death.
Mm-hmm.
And you're supposed to take this crown where I had to walk, where my father had to crawl, where my grandfather had to roll, his father had to damn near take all the stripes and the iniquities, who took more whoopings than Jesus Christ, for you to run. And my grandson, future, hopefully, that's years from now, he's supposed to be flying.
Mm-hmm.
Just like your daughter, who's in what, the Air Force?
Yes.
Think about it. Do you know how many men had to fight for the right for her to even join?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
And if she's anything like you did a damn good job.
I really did. Oh my goodness, I did. And she calls all the time checking on me. And you know what I'm gonna say
Mm,
too also is that because I have brothers and my brothers are young. I have younger brothers and I have older stepbrothers and whatnot. But my younger blood brothers, they're very like, and once they got to a certain night and a certain age, I just listen to them. Because that's how we were raised. You listen to the male figure, and because now he's a man. So if he said, "I don't like when you do this," I'm gonna stop. Okay,
And,
you
and
know.
think and think about that. Sorry for cutting you off. Think about that. Is that man leading you to a wrong path? Is he leading you down to the bridge of destruction?
No, he's not. He's taking care of me.
Think about it. I've always said, what's the first part of protection? Listening.
Exactly. That's why I've never really been hurt. So
Yeah,
when people say, "Why is Gigi so different?" Because I was allowed to be.
Mm-hmm.
because she's allowed to be a woman. It's like
I'm
when you hear,
allowed. Yeah, I did my
what?
job. I did my duty. Now, I can be my. I can do whatever I please because
hmm
I accomplished everything they wanted me to accomplish, and I did it. I
Mm-hmm.
proved them right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Gigi. You know what? Another thing black men have built. They literally built armor around our women and children.
Mm-hmm.
They You're more protected in the black community as a woman than anywhere else on the planet. Ask me how I know.
How you know?
I've been around the world and yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know that. See, the stigma is to make us look like we're malnourished, that we're dysfunctional. That this is the image they put out there, and they don't see the real families and how real family really uphold each other.
But you know what, Miss Gigi? I would say this, and you're absolutely right. When I was very young, I used to see this. Oh, these some of these black women, they don't realize, but they do. They do realize. They just, they don't want to change. They don't want to change. When this, it's like this. When you toxic in a certain way, you don't even want to change. Especially if you don't want to change within yourself, the family begin being toxic, and and then you got these boys acting a certain way. You got men do not want to be around. I could tell you for personal experience because I was in a relationship with a young lady that had kids. The father was locked up. He got out, got himself together. He trying to work on the son and the daughter, and the mother got mad because she wants to run in the street. The father had to go, let me give me the kids. Yo, you cannot get the kids because you've been locked up. Listen, I got a job and everything. And until I see the writing on the wall, this ain't happening. I actually had friends when I grew up in New York. I went to court with them to get the kids back. Get the kids. So he said, give me the kids. They turned them down. You see black men crying. Just give me my babies.
Okay,
I don't care.
excuse me for a minute. Hey, John, if that was you who just was up there, come back on. I didn't know who it was. If that's you who was just on, just come back and I'll let you on because we got a no troll policy going on in effect. So come on back up here. Just click on the link and come back up. Finish. I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm finished. Not chaos. I'm underrated.
Yeah. And make so to see that time and time again in my lifetime. And the sister said no, no, no. Or I'm just saying, no more changing conversation. No more. And these black women, they need to step the hell up and say that I'm wrong. And I thank you, Miss Gigi, because Miss Gigi has been on my panel too in the past.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I never had no problem with Miss Gigi. And that is the problem. It's not enough Miss Gigi's is willing to step up. That is the problem.
And
Hmm.
you know under JT, they sit there, they talk about me, and people who care about me say, they try to talk about you, and I said I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. I know I'm misunderstood. That's the point. That's my point. They don't know the genius behind it
And
because
everybody's not going to.
they're too
Right.
simple. No, some of them are too simple minded not to understand how smart I am, that I'm getting over their heads.
Hmm.
So past the giggling and stuff, because they don't know, like, okay, I'm trying to see if you're laughing with me or laughing at me,
Hmm.
so I can
You know,
weed you out. Now
you
I'm
know,
gonna
Miss.
tell my secret.
Oh no, trust me, the secret still works. I do it all the time.
Yeah,
If you still there, John, keep coming up. You were just on. I think that was you.
I
You
think,
were
yeah,
just on.
he popped up real quick.
You popped up, so just try it again. Um, I'm gonna tell you what it is that I noticed that probably gets under a lot of people's skin. See, it's the same thing that China White, Nicole Ali, Char Willie, Simply Unique, and others who come up here. They're afraid of your femininity and your happiness. You're jovial. You have a jovial personality. You're playful. You're what a woman should be, and they cannot equate.
Handle it.
They
Yeah,
can't do it because if you notice, for
because they'll fall
example,
in love.
yeah, they'll fall in love, and then look at how Miss J is. Miss J doesn't sound feminine.
Mm.
She's a black feminist, all aggressive, all curmudgeonous. What's up, Aaron? And
What's
she,
what up, Charles?
what's up? And notice how soothing you sound when the ladies come up here. Notice how the men just want to hear the femininity come out of you.
And that's what we want. We want to be feminine. We want to be admired and admire you back, you know?
And that's the point that gets to a lot of people is that, well, Charles, you talking about the ladies. Am I talking about every lady, or I'm talking about a certain group? And it
But
up.
you know what? We're speaking as adults.
Now that's another
Some
thing. I'm glad you said that.
some people you gotta yell at, and I'm like, why you yell? First off, you yelled at me first, so now I have to come back because I heard when Mama said you better knock them out. You know, if they hit you first, you better come back with it. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I was taught, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I know jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So when these little dudes come up here and they or I even old dudes when they come up and they wanna cuss me out like I'm the chick down the street and I'm like, what? But you must not know about me. You must not know about my cat. You must not know about my pedigree.
And that's the point. Once you use
I
the word
wasn't made by
pedigree, you went over their
mistake.
head. Once you said pedigree, you already flew over their head.
That's a grade A with the
Yeah,
quality.
I wasn't made by mistake.
Hmm.
What's going
Let me.
on in chaos and underrated darkness, everyone else? Hey, Gigi, how you
Hey,
doing,
what's
Queen?
up,
What's
bro? What's
Hey,
what's
good?
up, Aaron?
The real
Peace,
Collins.
peace.
long time.
What's up,
What's
Aaron?
up? What's up, you
What's
Adam
up?
Collins? You,
What's
you,
up,
Yeah,
John?
Hey,
You there, John?
John.
nice meeting you, John.
I just wanted to say something about. I mean, I could vouch for Gigi, man. Me and Gigi go way back. That's my girl right there.
Yes, from day
Yeah.
one.
And
I
and,
got
and
much
it's
love for Gigi.
and yeah, notice how everybody. I never heard one person have a negative thing to say about Gigi.
Oh,
That's
they
right.
say negative
Oh,
things about me, but I don't care.
oh, and we fight for Gigi too.
The
I
only
kick
thing they
someone's
could
ass
say
for
is that they
Gigi.
go, Gigi's drunk. I'm like, sure, okay, whatever.
All Gigi
See,
gotta do is point me in the direction and say, "Get him."
but we don't
Get
give
him, get
protection. But we don't give protection now. Hey,
Oh,
what's up, John? What's up, John? You gotta unmute.
I've been on several panels and I've stated very much clearly, and I think Chaos can vouch for this even, that I love
him.
black women, and I stand up for black women, and I've been labeled a simp for it. And and matter of fact, Gigi, you even heard me mention that before too, because I mean, people I just seen folks that come for Gigi, and I just said something about that then too.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but I think the deeper thing is that I want other brothers to understand is that, and we got to drive the point home. Um, brother Charles and brother Charles, we us three, we talk about this, and it's great that we take her for black women. But at the same time, you know why we take her for Miss Gigi? Because she loves black men, and she will fight for our boys,
I do.
and and that is the conversation that has to be on point. And
Yeah,
I will say this again, and Miss brother Charles, I say this. I'm tired the conversation when it comes to our young men and the boys, the conversation always had to change. No more changing. No
no,
more negotiation. Let's stick to the damn issue.
yeah,
Yeah.
and see, this is the problem. Hopefully, John comes back so he can get his word in it.
Mhm.
This is the issue. I am a problem solver. That is my divine mission from the Creator as a man. If I look at a problem, like the esteemed brother Cerulean Gray,
Yes.
we will look at things and say, underrated fellow, but he'll come back. We will look at a problem and say, okay, do we look for the gunshot wound in the arm, or do we look for the splinter in the foot? You go to the gunshot wound and you put a tourniquet so you could get some better medical treatment because you'll bleed out that way and to break your artery. So when you look at the problems and the issues in the black community, we got to go to the arteries first.
Yeah.
We got to go to the arteries because our young men are bleeding and dying. If they're not dying physically, they're dying intellectually. They're dying emotionally. They're dying spiritually. They're dying in so many damn ways. So when we look at this, and I hear this, oh, what did we build? See, we're still the glue building. It's a picture. Just imagine a woman in the lake and she got a ball and chain. And it was funny because shout out to BGS for putting that picture up. You have the woman in the lake. She has a ball and chain. She's reaching out to the black man who has a chain around his waist. And she's reaching with her free hand, but the hand she has in the water has the key. That key is capable of freeing that black man, and he could come and save her and all the future descendants. When are you going to give us the key? Because if we take the key, because number one, treat us the way you want your sons to be treated,
Mm.
just like the way we always treat our daughters, the way we treat our mothers, the way we treat our kids. Hey, John, you there? You got to unmute so we can hear you. Just tap on your. There you go. Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hi,
Hey, what's up,
John.
man?
Peace
Hey,
to
what's
you,
up, John?
brother.
What's going on, bro?
This is it's a little weird for me. First time on YouTube.
Hey, not bad. You always remember your first, huh?
It's facts.
So what would you like to include with the conversation?
Man, you know what? Really, I'm just sitting back listening, just trying to absorb as much as I can. Um, just to let you know, as far as like this red pill, blue pill thing, like I'm kind of in the middle. Like I'm still developing. So right now, I'm just trying to absorb as much knowledge from any and everybody.
Oh yeah,
So, so I do
not a.
appreciate you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't saying nothing. Go ahead.
No, I do appreciate you. Let me join the chat. I've been listening to your streams for quite some time now, and they're very inspirational, and just very knowledgeable as well too. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate
John,
you.
John, can I give you an advice?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, okay, and I brought up this analogy a long time ago, and I'm not really understanding this. I know it's like maybe from the Matrix or whatever, the red pill, blue pill, and
You
my
know,
whole thing
can
is
you hear me?
no.
Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, he dropped off.
We hear you.
If he's listening, red pill, blue pill, I don't know, black pill, whatever pill.
Yeah, red pill rage, blue pill rage, pink pill rage, green
Basically,
pill
You know what
rage.
I'm
these
saying?
pills.
Look. They're
Yep.
pushing pills. Do not take the pill. What I'm saying is open your
I don't
third
take
eye.
drugs.
Open your
Uh,
third eye.
Real quick, I sincerely apologize, Miss Gigi.
Yes, can you
Um,
hear me?
I can hear you now. I kind of missed everything.
Okay,
Um,
what I was
yeah, I'm
saying
having
is
audio issues. I'm sorry.
I didn't understand the red pill, blue pill thing analogy, and I mentioned it before that I don't believe in pills. What I
Right.
believe in is just open your third eye, just watch,
Okay.
listen, and pay attention. Don't swallow a pill because it was back then it was a take a chill pill. Don't do that. Like don't let them program you into thinking that there's a quick fix.
Right.
There's no quick fix. It takes time, meditation, it takes you knowing yourself, and it takes you to understand other people. I had to take classes. I had to take psychology. I had to take, all kind of things. And you know what they do? They teach doctors how to push pills.
Right. That's facts.
Yeah, because it's all industry to make money. That's why there's no
Like the way
cure.
you put that,
That's why
JJ.
it's in the movies, and it's not about the pill. It's about you unplugging and opening your eyes and realizing what's going on around in your surroundings. Who's good,
Exactly. I
who's
like the way you
bad,
put that.
who's you know the difference between bad and good, right?
Oh yeah,
You
definitely.
okay.
Now I do. Yeah.
And some people will fool you, but realize who's lying, because lying, when people lie, it's easy to believe them because they're so good at it. They write a script. It's like a
Right.
movie to them. They live by it. It's like those scam artists. But when some, and I said this before, people thought I was weird because when I told the truth, they were like, nah. And I'm like, oh, for real? I got pictures. But I'm not holding receipts or nothing, but I'm like, okay. Well, that was my memory, so whatever.
Yep. I wanted to say, like, as far as these pills to the brother Jonathan Sharp, basically
Sure.
with myself, I don't really consider myself as any kind of pill. I just try to be the best man I could be. You know, you're gonna just be the best you can be. You know, if you make mistakes, okay, so what? You know, we learn from mistakes. You know, we're not perfect, and
Yes,
just be the best you could be.
don't get trapped because some of these people are like cultish. You gotta be careful.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I apologize if I interrupted, but my audio just cut off again. I
Yes,
apologize.
we
Give me
hear
one
you.
second.
Try going your desktop. Oh no, that's the Charles. Oh, never mind.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we
Because we
get
can
you.
hear you.
Continue.
Yes.
Continue.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to remind the young man that sometimes you gotta be careful. This is why I throw them off by so they're like, we're not even gonna mess with her because we don't get it. And then they try to ask me personal questions, and then I'm like, they're like, well, you said this, and I said, I know what I said.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what did you say yesterday?
Right. I'm glad to see Gigi back though. I thought I was gonna have to send out a search party for Gigi. I haven't seen you like in 30 years.
Oh
I be
yeah,
around.
Gigi's.
I'll be watching you guys. I just don't. You know what? I remove myself because there are certain people who just want to hate on me in certain areas. So I just kind of like remove myself a little bit from some of the stuff, and then sometimes it's hard to find anybody after a while, and then it's like you know.
If you
Yeah.
want, if you need a hit squad, you know me and Charles, we up for it. Ain't that right, Charles?
Hell yeah. See, the crazy thing about the pills is this: the blue pill represents societal norms. You know, what mama taught you, like how to do things. Like if you get good grades at school, you'll get a pretty wife, and you'll get all these things that you're normally supposed to get. The red pill is supposed to talk about the opening of the third eye or the awareness. It
Well,
takes away the blind behind the veil.
can I?
Right.
Then
But it. Oh, I'm
hold on,
sorry,
hold
but
on.
can I say this? Because kids don't get that. You know what I'm
Uh-uh.
saying? They don't get the analogy. So just say straightforward. Why do we have to use pills? There's no pill. There's no
The
quick
reason
fix.
the reason why they got the pills is because of the Matrix. I wish
I
I could be
know.
sitting right. I wish I could see right here because of the deer all around me at the district. We're like in this wooded area, so all the deer come out.
Oh,
Oh man,
nice,
they,
Oh, nice.
nice.
Me
Well,
Hey, y'all
too.
basically,
should kill
we
Wow.
some
I'm in
deers,
the
man. Hey,
mountains.
Charles, you should kill some
we
deers, get
basically
some
live in the
deer
old
meat.
we live in an
Oh
And
old
then over
don't
here
American
listening to
society.
police sirens.
oh don't say no dear me. Oh no.
you
I'm in
gotta
the
You
drain.
heard
You
that,
mountains,
gotta
Charles?
deers and
you
bears
gotta
Hey,
and
drain
Charles.
the venison. But it's funny because you have different sectors of. They have come out with purple pill, which is a combination of red and blue, which is that you have the awareness, but you still do things in the blue pill. You have blue pill tendencies, but
Right.
We
the
just live
black
in an over
pill.
medicated
Black.
society.
Have you seen the movie Joker
Yeah, I
yeah.
or
saw
I've
it.
the
seen the movie
or
Joker.
the
The latest one?
or the, that one?
Yes.
And have you seen the Dark Knight? The
Yes.
Joker will be called Black Pill. Technically, Batman is Black Pill, but he's Black Pill, but he's aware of himself. He never fell into the abyss. So, in other words, for me to be a soldier and for me to be a police officer, I have to be a little Black Pill. I have to take my emotions out of it. Like when I see a dead body, or if there's a guy pointing a gun, I got to take my emotions out of it and I got to act accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not a good or bad. Like I always told people, I hate it when people say we're the good men because men don't live in morality the same way women and children do because we can't afford that. in a lot of times in our life. Do we have morality because of our women? Yes, that's why our women are there to keep us sane, to keep us from
Mm-hmm.
being totally black pill. That's why when you have a reigning woman and a Gigi and others, who have a soothing feminine energy. See, the feminine inspired the masculine, and the masculine in turns powers the feminine. Okay, remember, we're the sun, you're the moon. You can't shine light when the star dies. And that's what they're starting to see. Your greatness is on how a woman's greatness is on how she raises her family. A man's greatness is what he can create. What the family he create, the family he protect, the family he provides, the more the and so and so forth, the problems he solves within that family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when shit goes to hell, let's say you have a Katrina, there's plenty of black men who you'll see pictures of. They don't show them much because they think we're all a bunch of Neanderthals, which we're not. There's
Are
plenty of
saving
black
life.
there's plenty of black men who were saving lives
Yeah.
who will
Mm-hmm.
never get the credit.
I could speak on that because I was there. I helped save lives. We went to New
Ex-
Orleans and helped save lives.
Exactly.
Oh, well,
It's
God
just
bless
like,
you, man.
and thank you for your service and your support. There were times like when I was in Iraq, and people used to say, "How did?" A guy one time said, some hippie motherfucker, as I like to call it, how how do you know you're a good guy? I said, well, that's easy, man. See, the bad guys take human shields. The good guys are the human shields.
Yeah.
Mm.
We
See,
we take the blunt of the force. Yeah.
exactly. See, I'm willing to put myself in front of people so they don't get hurt, even though I don't have any connection to them whatsoever. I don't even know their name. So that's what true masculinity is about. And
Yep.
when I hear this shit about what have we built, I said, look, we've built society so well that you can complain about it.
Damn, bro. I never thought of
We
that way.
we built the whole country.
That's an interesting
You
concept.
built the whole country.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
men built the whole country.
We
By
built
force.
society so well that our women can actually complain about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Think
You
about it.
didn't put the windowsill to the right. It's supposed to be to the left.
At least you got a window seal.
Exactly. There are women out there who are not protected. As a matter of fact, when they said, well, the black men are cowardly, the black men are this, the black men. Did you know during World War II, when Italy tried to was invading Ethiopia, do you know how many black people begged the fucking president, we fought for this country, let's fight for our motherland? You know, a lot of black men said, and black women too, a few black women too, said, look, let us fight for our people over there. See, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people forget Pan Africanism started here, not anywhere else on the planet. See,
That's real talk.
see, we got so much. See, the thing about it that kept us sane as a people is our great empathy.
Yeah.
It's our greatest strength, and sometimes it's our greatest damn weakness.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
also it's faith. It's hope. It's the thing we know is gonna truly make us go to paradise.
hmm and it's funny because when you look at these concepts of what have we built, I mean, look around you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
literally in a fucking country sitting outside of a police station with nothing but forestry and fucking deer chowing down like it's the fucking hibachi grill.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was full duty, somebody could just dial three numbers and I'm on my way.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Think of
That's
how
what's up.
safe you are in a country where If you get shot in a second or third world country, that might be your life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we gotta be careful when we talking to black men. What have you built? Why are you? No, first of all, for a black man to survive today, still in the midst of mass incarceration, even though we have more black men in college than in prison,
Mhm.
in the midst today where 64% of black men in the middle class, believe
Mm-hmm.
it or not, that's some, and compared to the shit that we have to go through, we're like fucking superheroes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they don't know that. They don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't even try to flat. I'm like, okay, you like the way you living? Go ahead, live that way. You
Yep.
know? Because I'm sorry, some of the time I'm not talking about you black men, but the I think most women are talking about the losers who sit there and brainwash them and use them, and so they've got nothing but to see the wrong. But then they didn't, but as a woman they didn't do their part to get out of that situation and move on and
Hmm.
upgrade themselves. Upgrade, always
Oh,
upgrade.
oh yeah, but here's the reason why, Miss Gigi. Here's the dirty little secret nobody likes to say. They're mad because that's where they actually rank.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right.
If they really could get these top tier men, do you think they would be dating these guys? You
No,
had,
Mm-hmm.
but they will.
That's what it's called
Instead
right
they
there.
want to fight. They want to fight you, and they want to fight me.
you know why?
They fighting
One,
themselves.
one, they don't like women who are happy and feminine because you're like a traitor to them. Why are you being nice to them? You're not supposed to be nice to them.
Why
Right.
Mm-hmm.
not?
Exactly.
Because
They're not
because
supposed. Go ahead.
no, I was saying because the system had pampered them all throughout the years, and now the paradigm is start changing little by little. And like Miss Gigi and Rainy Woman and other women say, hey, look, we are not y'all. Y'all bitter. Y'all want to kill the black man. We want to be here for the black man. They
Yep.
don't like that. And so what happens? So this is like I was saying before. They eating out of the devil's table for a long time, and look what happened. Y'all want a certain place of the devil's table.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all still don't even want to get. Y'all still not even part of that. So that means y'all become a lost island. They cash you away. Now
They
you
want
want
to
to
be
mark.
divested.
Yeah, y'all want to march your ass home right now and get fixed up. No, your time is up.
Exactly. It's no difference than a bitter man saying these bitches ain't shit.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
notice, when you hear me say bitches ain't shit, I make a clear distinction of who the bitches are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Charles? That's the problem, though. They're too busy dealing with bitches and not ladies. That's the difference.
Exactly.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my goddamn mouth. And
And
see,
you notice they go to the extreme. They go to the extreme of everything. Like
Yeah.
they go to the extreme of lying. They go to the extreme of doing the freaking, extra with their face and hair and all that stuff. And then they go to the extreme of like over dancing. They go to the extreme of I don't know, having kids. They go to I don't know what
Oval.
exactly. They go
Mm.
overboard. And shout out to Sunny Box and Talk
Oh, shout out to you, brother.
because one day we got to do the combat sports special on the show because God knows Charles Faulkner loves his collegiate wrestling, his boxing, his MMA, Savate, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, traditional Japanese Jiu Jitsu, Muay
Oh,
Thai. I love my
word,
kickboxing.
you do?
Oh, I love Muay
All right, I
Oh,
Thai.
you
think I'll
do?
be
I love,
more
I
targeted
love
on
Oh,
my,
that.
I'm
I
into
love,
stuff like that, Charles.
I love my
You love
combat
capoeira?
sports.
Capoeira.
I've studied capoeira.
I love my capoeira.
And
I
I'm gonna get
love
back
my,
Mm.
into it. Study it.
I love my kung fu. Matter of fact, my father, I gotta sound like a country boy. I'm only 1/3 country boy. I'm a true city boy though. My daddy, he got his first degree black belt in Baltimore in Shorin-ryu karate with Raleigh Hawkins, who was like a martial arts legend, not only in the black
Yeah.
community, not only a black community, but around the world with the
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Avengers. And he got his second and third degree in Okinawa from the original.
Nice.
So, and think about that. You're a black man in the 70s getting a second and third degree black
Oh, they
belt.
were doing it in the 70s.
Jim
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly.
What's your father's name? That's senior, right?
Hmm.
Wow. We got to talk, Charles.
Yeah. Because my father actually met Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris when they came to
Oh,
both.
Yes.
See, people. See, it's funny because one day I would love to get Sonny on the panel. We talk about this. See, people don't understand. Baltimore is a combat sports hub. Like you have guys like myself who wrestled, and like I
Oh, I
got
wrestled.
like, uh, huh? Not on
I
me.
told you my daddy got me into sports. He was all like, "You better do something with yourself." I'm like,
Hmm.
Yeah.
"I'm gonna
Oh yeah,
fight."
and it's funny because Baltimore, we got his former heavyweight champion of the world, Hakeem Rahman, when he knocked out
Yeah.
Lennox. We
Yeah.
had we had a couple of guys from Baltimore, like Rico Chaparelli, who wrestled in Iowa under. I think he wrestled under Gable. I believe he wrestled
Yeah.
under
Oh yeah.
Gable.
Gabe. Yeah. One of the famous wrestlers and also wrestling coaches too.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, and he
Nice.
got an NCAA, and he's from Baltimore.
Hmm.
You got various martial arts. I mean, this is a combat sports hub. I swear to
Hmm.
God,
Tank Davis.
if I could get money, I would build a gym for black boys. If I could find a fucking investors, I would get a nice plot of land and I would just build a gym where we could just work on our boxing, our wrestling, and we would produce. In other words, just like they come to all these Big Ten and Big 12 schools for football and basketball, guess what? You got to come to the black community if you want the next UFC champion. You got to come
I
here.
would support that
Hmm.
100%. I would support. I
Yeah,
would get behind
Support there.
that one.
And
that's.
also, yeah, that's true.
No, go finish what you were saying.
No, I'm saying also I remember you was talking about that in wrestling in Africa too in ancient times and stuff like
Hmm.
that. That we don't even talk about that too and stuff like that. And that is very important too.
And oh yeah,
Yep.
wrestling is a part of your hurt. Martial arts,
Yep.
we literally there's nothing we didn't give because Bodhi Dharma was a black man, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He taught the monks because they were too out of shape and they were getting their asses whipped. He taught them martial arts that developed into kung fu.
Yeah. And
Yep.
the black man created hockey,
Hmm.
Hmm.
Nova Scotia in somewhere in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Scotia, I
A
think it's
lot
said
of
to be the
things.
highest concentrated province of black people in Canada, Nova Scotia.
Hmm. And you got to remember, wherever it goes back into what has a black man created.
Yeah,
Hey, you
pretty
have you went
much.
have you have you learned the martial art? Created that
Yep.
too,
It's more
and
like what has been not created.
Yeah,
that's the
boxing
point.
was the first martial art I ever had to learn. I mean, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and you had to learn how to box.
And that's another reason which I wish, and that's why we got to put the Gray Falcon Initiative back in full force. Because if I had a Boy Scout, or if I was the dictator, the benevolent dictator of America, I would as much as I love football, with the exception, except we got to let my Ravens play. But a lot of black kids would have to go to high school. You would have to take up wrestling. You had to take up boxing. You had to take up
Yes.
Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, capoeira. If you ever notice, you would get a lot of this violence down if you controlled and let the boys fight.
Hmm.
I got most of how me and my friends still settle issues. Get the gloves.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because even with the girls, because girls be wanting to jump you and cut your face and stuff when you're pretty.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we
Oh
have to
yeah,
be
you're
like,
right, Sonny. The
yeah,
first samurai was black. As a matter of fact, an ancient Japanese proverb says you can only be samurai and brave if you have a bit of black blood in you.
Hmm.
You
uh huh.
couldn't be a samurai unless you couldn't. You could not be a samurai unless you can prove that you had some type of black blood in you.
Yep.
Think about that.
Hmm.
Wow.
So we definitely got to do that combat sports thing because a lot of the history of combat sports and combat period is African/African American history. Okay.
You know what? You hitting on something. I'm sure then you know about 52 blocks then, don't you, Charles?
Oh, from the prisons that was developed in the prisons.
Exactly. Yeah,
Close
52
quarters
blocks.
combat.
And that's where you have people like Mother Deer and Light Burley, Ramel Scott. And for those of you who know who Mother Deer is, you know about the prison system. So Mother
Hmm.
Deer was, you know who I'm talking about, Charles. So
Hmm.
Well, they say
Not.
yeah,
they say that the real warrior blood is the black blood, and you know, it's that's why when you see around the world, the darker skinned people like the Filipinos or the Thai people or the Cambodians are darker with the African features. So is in Hawaii with the Fujis and the what do you call them?
The Samoans.
Yeah, the Samoans. Yeah,
yes, Samoan,
definitely.
yeah.
I mean,
They'll tell
Yeah.
you.
you got to remember that a lot of our history
Is erased.
is negated and erased, or they thought they erased it, but
Yeah, but
Hmm.
it's there.
it's there because you go to fucking India and there's so many styles of wrestling. Like I could literally teach you several different styles of wrestling, like catch as catch can. You ever heard of a catch wrestler?
A catch
Matter of
what?
fact, matter of
Yeah.
fact, have you ever heard of Boss Rutan or Ken Shamrock?
I heard of
Yes.
Boss Blue Man, Ken Shamrock. Ken
Yeah,
Yes.
Shamrock
Ken,
was
Ken,
MMA.
yeah, that's his style is shoot fighting or shoot wrestling. Where
Hmm,
Yeah, he was
okay,
Pancrase,
okay.
because Pancrase predates the UFC for a few years. As a matter of fact, they got the idea from not only ancient Greece but ancient Africa because in Pancrase, where you're the champion of Pancrase, they don't call their champions, they call them kings. So if you're the champion, you're called the king of Pancrase.
Hmm.
So a lot of that style from the catch wrestling, which is like old British and Gaelic wrestling, which use submission holds.
Yep.
Matter of fact,
I
it's
think
funny because
Luthez did that too, didn't he?
who
Luthez.
Luthez,
Luthez.
yeah, Luthez, yeah, Luthez, Frank Gotch, all that shit, and you have a lot of these guys who can do actual catch wrestling. Like even Ric Flair used to joke about when he had to wrestle Bob Backlund. And he said, "Shit." He was like, "Man, if he was like, I heard that if Bob didn't want it, he said, man, I couldn't take that, man, if I
Man,
wanted
Bob
to."
Backlund whooped Ric Flair's ass
And
so
Bob
bad.
Backlund do that chicken. What do you call it? Chicken wing
The
hold.
crossface chicken wing. You gotta think, Bob Backlund was an NCAA champion.
Yeah, he
He
whooped
he
Ric
wasn't
Flair.
nothing to fuck with.
Yeah, right.
And, I mean, a lot of and it's funny how the style of American wrestling actually influenced and brought up Japanese style wrestling, which also was influenced by Frank Gotch. They called him the god of wrestling in Japan. Where you ever heard of a German suplex? That's the homage they paid to Frank Gotch, where he
Okay.
taught them, where he went over there to teach them catch wrestling. That's why a lot of their wrestlers did really, really well. A lot of their pro wrestlers did really, really well at MMA because they were learning real holds and moves and positioning.
Or Dean Malenko, 1,000
Well,
hold.
yeah,
That's a
yeah. Like his style of wrestling was based on catch wrestling. So even when you look at Stu Hart, rest in peace, Stu Hart. He learned that old English style of catch wrestling. That's why they call that shit the sugar hold. The
Yeah,
sugar
the
hold was
Dutch.
so painful. It was so painful and so devastating that it will bless the blood vessels in your eyes.
Damn.
Jesus.
Dude, what? Say it again?
Like the
Man, the
sugar hole.
dungeon, man. Stu Hart done taught so many famous wrestlers, man. I mean, Chris Benoit came from the dungeon.
I mean, if you look, even if you look at my wrestling coach, God rest his soul in peace, power, and paradise, his son's actually a pretty famous painter, Poncho. And Poncho was a bad motherfucker too, because Poncho had a black belt in Aikido, and me being a teenager at the time, thinking I'm gonna just rush him, and then next thing you know, I gave him my wrist, and that's all he needed. And next thing you know, you see my ass just flipped in the fucking sky. So,
Well, most people don't know that most fighters are artists because they have to balance themselves.
And a lot of them don't even know that or everything they were talking is originally from Africa, because they don't. Because even like I talked to a wrestler one time, it's back in New York, and it was so funny. I said, everything you learn is from Africa. I said, yeah. I said, yes. Look it up.
Look at your moves. My father's African, so I'll be looking at people like that was done a long time ago.
yeah.
I'm like, what do you think you're doing?
And it's funny. It's funny that you actually mentioned that, because a lot of the maneuvers that's the advantage of having one of the old school older guy coaches, is that you're going to get a history lesson and an ass whooping at the same time. So just like you see those little ancient Greece statues with the two guys wrestling, I mean, that's a cross body ride.
Yep.
The white boys tried to put that cross body ride on me, and they realized it's a lot harder to get. So, but they feared me because I had it's funny, because if you know anything about collegiate wrestling, it's very rare to have somebody above 145 pounds hit a switch. And I mastered it on both sides of my body, which people knew about the switch that I would do, and it was so devastating. You can ask Dre about it. He would just tell you. He would tell you people would give up their back than take my switch, because like a guy could lift me on my feet and I was still switching midair. And if I didn't like you, I would drop the arm. Imagine hyperextending your arm and the guy's going behind you, and if you try to resist, you'll snap your own arm.
Oh.
If I didn't like you, I would just drop my weight on the ground.
Oh. And is this true? I heard someone said that Brock Lesnar can't take a hit. I mean, he can give one, but he can't take a punch. Is that true?
Well, he could take a little bit of punishment, but the problem is that the sport evolved.
Oh, there was a pause. But speaking
the
of
Pancrase heavyweight champion, and the K1 heavyweight champion, was just where you get your best heavyweight kickboxers from. As a matter of fact, they actually put a rule called the Overeem rule, where you can't do a jumping knee like he used to.
Oh wow!
And
Overeem?
Yeah, I mean, when he did the jumping knee, he actually had and then Brock, which was a bad matchup for him, because Brock is a hell of a wrestler, but he couldn't take that jumping knee, and Brock came back from that appendix surgery, that intestinal surgery.
Yeah.
And first thing Overeem did was a jumping knee to the body, and he dropped his big ass.
Beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get Sonny up here for a little bit. I want to see what he says. And it's funny, because I always had this debate with people when they talk about boxing. They be like, "Who do you think was the greatest boxer of all time?" Some people will say Ali. Some people might go to I can't say
further than that.
I'm gonna tell you, from all the footage that I could see, I don't think I've seen anybody who could fight like Ray Robinson.
I agree.
The closest was Ali, but Ali didn't have that punching power that Robinson had at welterweight and middleweight. I mean, the motherfucker hit you like he shot you.
Yeah, I remember the fight when he fought George Foreman. back in '57. Now this is like
You
towards
talking
the
about
twilight.
you talking about in the 70s?
No, 57.
Nah, because the fight between Foreman and Ali was in the 70s. I think it was 76 somewhere.
Maybe I said the wrong name, but I
The
remember that's what they called the perfect left.
Yeah, the perfect punch when he fought who did he fight? He fought I think he fought Casilio, and Ray Robinson stepped backwards and hit him with a perfect hook. I mean, and I remember they told the story of it, and Casilio told the story of it. He hit him with the left so hard that he was out. And then when he got back to his senses, he was like, "Yo, what happened to Ray? Is he hurt? Is he okay?" And they were like, "Fool, you the one knocked out."
When he got knocked out so bad, he thought the other guy got knocked
Yeah,
out.
and that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying because Ray Robinson was in his twilight. This was his twilight
yeah,
career.
he was in his twilight, and
That's impressive. I'm like, damn.
he was still better than 90% of the boxers on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And the people, and you got to think about it. This guy did a European tour. A black man in the 50s and 60s, no, the 60s, did a European tour in a pink Cadillac with an entourage. He actually started the boxing entourage. He defended the world title in 2 weeks, 3 times around Europe, defending the middleweight title. You can't even get a motherfucker to defend his title once a year.
Yeah. And drain blood and drink it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some warriors back then, man.
Uh-huh.
And this is the
Yeah, boxing's controlled now by organized crime. Now you gotta take dives and stuff now.
yeah. And
Everyone's
I'm
wanting to be
just
great now.
it's funny because now, hey, what's up, Sonny?
Peace, peace, peace.
Hi,
What's
How's
up,
everybody
Sonny.
Sonny?
doing?
What's up?
Good
I
fight.
had to
Hey
get
man,
you on there since we
He
kind of
said, I
switched the
got the
thing.
boxing talk ready.
yeah.
Yeah, huh?
And if you, and
Yeah.
I know you got a channel, so pimp your channel out.
Yeah, Sonny's Boxing Talk. Feel free to subscribe or whatever. I don't make too many videos like I used to, but I'll be making some soon. The next video I do is probably I'm gonna do a video about some firearms.
Okay. Hey,
But
that's also great too.
but to answer your question, in my opinion, the best that I've ever seen, is Floyd
hmm
Mayweather.
Mayweather,
Floyd
one
Mayweather.
of one of the best boxers I've seen growing up as a kid. Oh my God, it's funny because when you're a kid and you're brought up in, see, I don't know what these other motherfuckers have been growing up to watch because you know how your daddy sit on your lap and he lets you taste a little bit of his beer and shit like that. Like it was funny watching like Tyson, and I mean prime Tyson, hungry Tyson,
Right.
Right.
Mayweather. I like Mayweather. I got great respect for Mayweather, but
I just like
I just wish I could get a time machine and just put him and Ray Robinson in the ring together.
I'm a
But you
70,
that's
so I
different
had
weight
all
class.
kinds of people.
Oh, they were both welterweights. I mean, the
Really?
welterweight, and he welterweight and middleweight.
middleweight, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I'm a
Because if
70.
I go ahead.
I'm a 70s baby. I mean, I had all kind of heroes growing up. I mean, I grew up with Ali, Frazier, Hitman Hearns, Sugar Ray
Oh,
Leonard, Larry Holmes. These were my heroes growing up.
I think
But
Larry Holmes had one of the best jabs in boxing history. God damn.
oh,
Facts. Facts.
he had like a brick jack.
Forget Roy
Motherfucker.
Jones.
Oh yes, we
Yes,
forgot
sir.
about Roy Jones.
Oh yeah, but
Who the
but
fuck is the best? Who is the? Think about it. Do you know how hard it is to be the pound for pound best boxer in the world? Think
I
about
don't
how
know.
hard it is.
I like
Think of how
both
hard it is to
boxers.
be the best boxer for a whole decade.
yeah,
I like
Mm.
John
but
Lewis. I don't know. Okay, maybe because I used to watch a lot of old stuff. I like
Yo,
classical stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
like I like Archie Moore. I think Archie Moore got to be in the conversation.
left the old mongoose, huh?
Oh, mongoose. Oh my God.
Shit, don't forget about Jack Johnson. Now, Jack Johnson, unforgettable blackness. Shit, he did his
Oh
thing.
yeah. Oh yeah. Wait a
Yeah,
minute. I could be at this time of day and knock out white people and not go to jail. Put me
right.
in.
And fucking white women back then, unheard of.
While driving
Jack
at
Johnson was that fool.
like, I'm good.
Jack Johnson was crazy.
Yeah.
He
Untouchable.
was that dude. He was that fool for real.
He really
And
was.
then
He
he
was
something
not
about
even.
it.
He started
I-
that whole thing.
I'm gonna tell you two boxing matches for any fight fan, and I'm gonna get to my wrestling and MMA favorites. If you want to watch a fucking action-packed boxing match, watch Hitman Hearns versus Ray Leonard 1 and 2.
Agreed.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
That is one of the most like nail-biting, like. I pretended like I was in front row watching it, and I literally watched it from start to finish. And
That was
you're like,
iconic. Yeah,
dude,
that
I
was
was sweating.
Right.
That's how good it was. That was
Got
one of the
another-
most. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Got another good one for you. You remember the Riddick Bowe fights?
Oh, with Holyfield.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, those were exciting, man. That's what boxing. That was the heavyweight renaissance.
Buster Douglas too. I
I
think he
agree.
got with,
That was the.
didn't he?
Oh yeah, Buster Douglas versus Tyson, which was nobody seen that coming.
Yeah.
But wasn't Buster Douglas like a feeling like he wasn't supposed to face Tyson? Like he
I think he was his mandatory defense.
Yeah, it was a mandatory defense, and I think his mother passed away like that day or month, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What was another good one was actually a modern good boxing match that I would say Klitschko versus Joshua. Klitschko versus Joshua was a lot.
real good one.
I mean, and people talk about Joshua can't take a hit. See, Klitschko hits like child support checks.
Wow.
You know, they keep coming, they keep coming, they keep coming, they keep coming, they keep
Boom!
keep
When
coming.
he hit him, Joshua was like, "Oh, we fighting for real, are we?" And
That's a hell of a metaphor
And
right
then
there.
Joshua connected from there.
You know what I'm saying, my dude? Because they keep coming, they keep coming.
I'ma
Say,
steal
God
that
damn, I didn't pay that.
Well,
you can steal it as long as you give me credit. I mean, that motherfucker hit like child support checks, man.
You know what though?
Oh
'Cause
man, one
nothing-
of my favorite ones is like that motherfucker hit harder than systematic racism. God damn.
Damn.
Shit. Like he got a right
Oh
hand
my
is systematic racism, the left hand is oppression. God damn.
Yeah, with both, he said, "Damn, it's like, damn, I'm fucked."
Oh man, I gotta
He
go.
knocked you back into slavery, huh? He hit you the
Yeah.
hard.
Talk
Man,
about
you
how much am I
hit you so
getting
damn.
paid again?
Yeah, motherfucker hit you so hard. Motherfucker hit you so hard, you automatically start picking cotton and shit.
Mhm.
So you
how
get sweet
black
low.
women
Yeah, when I'm butt.
feel.
So hard
Hey,
muscles,
wait,
though, but I can't get
wait,
it.
what's the cotton? Let me pick it quick.
The dude died? I'm like, oh no.
One of the best MMA fights that I've ever seen.
Gastelum and Adesanya.
That was a great one.
Yeah, that one is really hard to put into words.
Yeah, that was. Of course, you got Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner won.
Yeah. But
That was a fight. And I
Yeah.
actually met Stephen Bonner in Vegas in Randy Couture's gym. He's
really.
every bit of 6'4", nice guy, former cop, and a Ravens fan. I like him. And I wish I had a YouTube channel there because it was like a whole hour we spoke, and I could have interviewed him for live. And
Dang.
Wow.
And it was funny because it was who was another guy that I love. I actually got to train with a couple of famous MMA fighters. I actually trained with Dan DeBee Severn.
I met him in person. I met the dude in person.
Funny guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like
suplex the shit out of you.
I like Anderson Silva when he was in his prime.
Oh, Anderson Silva. Oh, Anderson Silva, man. That's the only motherfucker in MMA history to ever. And I know Sonny, but even Sonny.
I know exactly I know what you about to say right now.
He's the only fighter in MMA history to have 100% accuracy striking in a fight. How do you throw everything you throw? It touches the motherfucker.
Yeah, knee, everything. I'm like, God, like, and he just play. I remember he knocked somebody out backwards, jab, pow.
When he hit a dude with a backwards elbow and knocked him out cold, I'm like, damn, fuck.
And also, he's the only one that I've ever seen in mixed martial arts to actually use some Wing Chun, and it's applicable to what he's doing. You notice when he's on the fence, how he do his arms. That's he learned a little bit of Wing Chun.
Yeah,
and he added that to his game.
One of the best guys to see. One of the best guys, I think, in MMA history, pound for pound, GSP, George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
He was to me, I think he's like the first true athlete. The motherfucker was a striker. I mean, he was just knocking motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great fight between him and Matt Hughes, all three of them.
Yeah.
He was relentless.
Relentless. And I mean, you'd never see him tire. But when GSP came back and he started, GSP is a genius because he doesn't learn kickboxing in an MMA gym. He went to Phil Nurse, who was a former world champion, to learn kick. When he went to learn to wrestle, he trains with the Canadian Olympic wrestling team. So you're looking at a guy who's wrestling constantly against NCAA champions, not just contenders, but champions, and he's out wrestling them. Like, this motherfucker wrestles so well, he could go to they said they were trying to get him at the Canadian team to wrestle for the team. That's how good he was. Like, they said he could probably medal. And
that's saying a lot.
And you're looking at like, I mean, I've seen guys like fucking, I think Shamrock in his prime was the world's greatest fucking fighter at the time.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was, y'all.
Like, because if you really want to see Shamrock at his greatest, you got to go to his Pancrase fights. I mean, you see a guy that's 6'1", 230 pounds of fucking brick fucking muscle, move that fucking fast. It is like, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
When he got that knee bar on fucking Boss Rutan, it was like Boss Rutan couldn't even react fast enough because he was already on him. Speaking of Boss Rutan, you couldn't pay me money to fucking stand up and fight that motherfucker.
That's that crazy white boy. He's got that way he talks. You do it like this, boom.
Yeah. and what were you about to say? What you about to say, Sonny?
That guy, he'll break your arm after you tap too.
If you don't tap, you're gonna be in the hospital. and I've looked at Boss Rutan, man, and Pancrase and fucking man, this dude and Boss's style, because in the Netherlands or the Dutch, they don't believe they have the best kickboxers, Muay Thai or straight kickboxing in the world. They're the best heavyweight kickboxers. In Thailand, they have the best lower weights. So Boss said, you know what? He says, I don't believe in a jab. He said, I'm gonna throw something. I'm gonna hurt you with it. It's like, fuck all that. What's the point of jabbing? So he would just get a more squared stance. And you can tell by the stance what type of fighter you got. If he's more of a squared stance, you in for a nice night.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask y'all this question: How is this real? How real is the Kumite? Is that a real fight, the Kumite.
Well, the Kumite is really one of those like it's similar to wrestling where or you're training in boxing or wrestling where you're getting ready for a big match or a big fight where you're taking on X amount of people in a row with little to no rest. So that's what a Kumatang really is. Like in karate, like if you're in a Kumatang, which is like a tournament or a fight, you're not allowed to punch to the head, which is the reason why my father got thrown out because he said, this Japanese motherfucker hit me in my head with he poked me in my goddamn eye. So I hit the motherfucker with a ridge hand and knocked him out cold. He threw me out the tournament.
He punched that hard in the head?
Because you can't punch in the head, but the body from the neck, from the shoulders down is all. So imagine somebody with some flat fists punching you in the body. But you can kick to the head though.
Yeah. Also, it's also just to piggyback off what you said. It's based off of this competition to where like one guy, I think he has a record. He fought 100 people in like one day or something like that. Like
yeah,
keep fighting people.
Tell either they drop or you drop.
Yep.
And it's funny because that's what happened to the Warrior Clash. You didn't have like I'm pretty sure Gigi would be a sweetheart, but I'm not sure if she has a son or not. But she'd be like, "Nah, son, you got to listen to the men. I'm gonna sit right here and watch you, baby." And that was the most respectful thing that we had in wrestling when we would coach, and the kids would try to go over to their mama. They'd be like, "You better get back on that mat before the coach kick your ass again."
Mm-hmm.
They be like, "I'm not in charge of you."
Mm-hmm.
But Ma, it hurts. She was like, "Life hurts. Get back on that goddamn mat and be a man." That's the type of women we need.
That was back when that was the days I grew up in. That was when men really taught boys. I mean, we went in the neighborhood and actually had boxing matches. This is before they started putting out the guns and stuff like that. I kind of wish things would come back.
I had to ask Sonny this. What do you think? Do you think that if we actually went back to teaching combat sports from, let's say, grade school on up, it would curb a lot of the violence that we have in the Black community?
It absolutely would.
Absolutely.
Because I know for a fact it would. One, you're too damn tired to fight because of training. And two, you would think twice. And three, if two guys in school want to fight, you can control it. And what happens after you fought a motherfucker? Y'all end up being friends any goddamn way.
Well, one of the things that martial arts does is it instills discipline. You know what I'm saying? So most of the teachers that I've encountered, when they take on the students, they're not only just a teacher, but they also are a good influence on whoever they're teaching. And most of them are involved in the kids' lives. You know what I'm saying? So it absolutely would. I agree with that.
And that's part of what the Gray Faulkner Initiative is all about. Is like Cerulli and I need to get hats that says to make Black men great again. Wait a minute, we're already great.
Right.
And once you instill that martial way about them, which martial is from the word Mars, which is the god of war, that warlike way. See, when you're a warrior, it's not about how great you can fight, it's how much you can avoid.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, a real warrior will try to avoid fighting and walk away.
Because it's unless it's a sporting event or unless it's like your safety or your life is on the line, why fight? Especially when you do know how to fight and being a see you later, Gigi. Have a good night, lady.
Woo. Good night.
It's fun. It's funny because even as a cop on the street, I was trying to de-escalate shit. I was de-escalating before they put it in the policies. You're like, man, do we have to fight? I just got my shit out the cleaners. I just shine my boots. Come on, man. And 90% of the time it works. But it's that 10% of the time you're like, okay, all right, this guy's gonna boom. Oh shit. What? Okay, now pick yourself up. Let it be learned. Not to fight the police. Yes. Thank you. And see, I kind of wish that same sentiment would actually go to the police departments where every day you got to train, like not just on different days, but every day you got to be in that gym doing a combination, learning how to hit with full power, learning how to sit on your punches, learning how to bob and weave. It was one black lady, and she used to box for the Marine Corps. This is before my time in the department. One of the older sergeants told me. She said this one young punk tried her, and she literally beat his ass one side of the street to the other side of the street.
That shit went viral.
Well, this was before cameras and shit. This was way before my time. And it's funny because once again, because Charles Fulton Jr. is a sexist. Why does he believe in combat sports and combat teaching? Because guess what? You're gonna have to teach the women to be a little bit more cunning and much more vicious because they're giving up a lot of size and strength. But I'm a sexist though.
I said this before, and you might know what I'm talking about with this, Charles. But in a way, I think a woman is probably the most deadliest one out there. For a simple fact, is people underestimate women. Like, for example, like you go to a club, women really don't get searched that much. A woman can go up in there and slaughter everybody in there and walk out and put on some lipstick like nothing happened.
And it's funny because, like I said before, when it comes to combat situations, women should never be in direct combat because of the size and strength. But they make some of your best snipers in the world. There was one lady from I think she was from Ukraine. She fought in World War II. And she was literally, her nickname was Lady Death. Like she had the Nazis feared. She like the Nazis just feared her. She was so feared and so nice with the fucking shot that they were trying to recruit her to their side. They'd be like, we'll make you a colonel. We'll pay you all this money. Please stop shooting our asses. Well, once again, I'm a sexist though,
Yeah, we all sexist.
Yeah, if you don't say something that a woman doesn't like, you're sexist. And there's a reason why I got He-Man in the background, because a lot of people don't know He-Man was also based off of African spirituality. Because when he said by the power of Grayskull, he was referring to invoking the power of his ancestors. I wonder where they got that from.
Yeah.
Man, we can't have nothing.
I keep one day we're gonna have a panel where I'm gonna talk about different cartoons, especially in the '80s, that told you about your history or your belief, your people's belief system. It is right in front of your eyes.
You know what? Like, there's this cartoon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with anime. I'm an artist, so I got to keep up with all this.
Oh man, pimp your shit out.
Word. So there's this anime called Naruto, and Naruto is they have certain clans. I'm pretty sure you guys already know.
I'm familiar with Naruto. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I'm familiar with Naruto. Yeah, keep on talking, bro.
Yeah, so they had the Uchiha clan, which was a clan that was wiped out because they were so powerful, or they were getting to be so powerful, from my understanding. So they had one of their own. His name was Itachi Uchiha, and he was like this prodigy, just amazing ninja. And so the thing about the Uchihas is they have this thing called a Kekkei Genkai, which is a special ability that certain clan that certain clans have. So the thing is, they have these like eye techniques that can either cause illusions or just a variety, a number of things that can happen. So, long story short, it was like the government in Naruto, which was like the Leaf Village, told uh told Itachi to kill all his clan members, which he did, but he left his brother alive. Now the thing is, that's like, to me, like the Uchiha clan and Naruto represented black people to me, based off of like not necessarily the potential, but it's just like the strength that they had. They were
Mm-hmm.
feared just because of who they were, of who they are.
And yeah, they can control tail beasts with their Gekkei Genkai.
Right. So
So
I'm
base.
speaking off. Go ahead.
I was just gonna. I'm sorry. You finish, and I'll continue after you.
I appreciate it. I'm shaking all the cobwebs off. I'm still nervous because I'm on YouTube, but but you know, like one thing that caught my eye was, and I never looked this up, but they have this thing called the Sharingan within their eyes, and it's like 3 like circles with like a curved tip at the end of the dots within their eyes. And the thing about that is, it kind of resembles, like, 666. And back in the day, I used to think like, man, 666, isn't this the devil and all this and that? I did my information, and lo and behold, that's, I believe it's the element carbon, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Which is blackness.
It's like, dang, well, that's it's a perfect blend of protons, neutrons, and electrons, I believe.
Which is also the symbol of blackness. When
Right.
you look at the universe, what do you see? Black. That's the reason why. Why do you think the black in the Olympic rings is there? Because all colors come from black.
Right.
To black. Yep, fade to black.
Fade to black. And then if you notice, I don't know if you can see the screen, but guess what? Shit. Here we go. This is my shit right here.
Rock Lee.
Black. Boom. Well, when you training that hard and my man come out there with the nunchucks on your ass. But this is one of my favorites.
Japanese animation and manga and stuff. Oh yeah, that's my show, the original Thundercats. If you know anything about that, though, I think with their books, you read their books from the back and up.
Mm-hmm.
We read books from the front to the back, but in Japanese culture, you read the book from the back and you go up.
So a lot of times you get a lot of these characters. They're secretly telling you about your heritage.
Yeah.
A lot of it, like you had
Yep. Yeah, Panther was my favorite one. You know Earl Hyman played Panther, right?
Oh yeah, Grandpa Huxtable, yeah.
Yep, that was Panther.
Why do you think he's so near and dear to us? Because the man gave us one of the greatest television grandfathers of all time, and he gave us probably the greatest Thundercat of all time.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta remember, what was Panther's abilities? He was the strongest, as you can see in that video, when he's strong enough to lift a goddamn tank. And he was also a master of all fighting arts. And he was not only
his full title was Panther the Deadly.
Oh yeah, Panther the Deadly. Think about that. He was also the smartest, because you forgot he built the Thunder Tank out of scrap metal from the ship they landed on.
Sure did. He built the cat's lair.
Mm-hmm. Him and Tiger, yeah.
Yep, him and Tiger both, yeah, because Tiger was the architect and Panther was the mechanic.
Yep. If you go on to YouTube, they have the original Thundercats. Matter of fact, Hulu, if you don't really want to pay for it, go to look up Safari Joe, and it tells you everything about each one's abilities. Like Panther, to me, Panther was a symbol of black ingenuity.
Yep.
He
And
was
there's
the.
no coincidence that it was a black man that played him either. To me.
Look at that. Does that make you proud to be black with all? Look at that.
Oh,
And he just like, get the fuck off.
right.
It's, toss that bitch. See, like that's the man right there. Matter of fact, here's my favorite one. Bitch.
Panthro's only weakness and was he was afraid of energy bats.
Yeah, like he was. But I mean, he will fight the fuck out of you. Like a lot of people don't understand that. I'll say this from my military years. I never knew how respected a black man was till he comes out of the Americas.
Yep. You right about that, Charles. I've heard that before too.
I ain't gonna lie. When I saw this scene live, when I first saw this scene live, when they played it like live, as live as an anime could get, but I actually screamed on this part because that was slick as shit when he surfboarded her shit.
Yeah.
I wish I could put words here. Masculinity and feminism.
Oh, that's the way to put it.
Oh, I'm a feminist. Fuck you. You still need us.
Yeah.
I mean, see, a lot of people don't understand. You get a lot of, as BGF will say, you get a lot of esoteric knowledge from anime. Like, because all knowledge isn't new, it's just repackaged. And a lot of this stuff that we fail to actually get is due to the fact that everything about us is hidden. Nobody really wants to talk about our stories and our successes because, number one, when you tell a race of people and you keep their religion, think about it. The Jews went through hell and high water, but not one time did anybody take their religion away.
Nope.
That's why I got into an argument with one Jewish guy when he was talking about the Holocaust. I said, "Oh, funny. Your Holocaust was about what, 10 years? Ours is 400 and something, and it's growing."
Yeah, still continuing.
I said, "Look at it. America actually funded you to actually get a country. So did Great Britain, and gave you weapons and money."
Yeah, they got their reparations, and so did a lot of other races. Got their reparations except us.
Yeah, but each of them got reparations on the back of us, and in one way or the other, they enslave us.
Right.
And one day we're gonna go up here, and we're gonna talk about some heavy shit because we're gonna talk about some of our entrepreneurs. We're going to talk about some of our artists, and we're going to talk about being recession proof because guess what? A lot of our artists are making money during this COVID shit because guess what? You got to entertain us. Think about it. We're going to talk about Sunday. We're going to try to get the first Black law enforcement convention, and hopefully everybody will be able to watch. Hopefully we'll do some big numbers on that one because we're gonna have a Q&A for people to come in. We ain't doing no damn super chats. I want all my money like that. But still, the little bit that I get. But guess what? I don't care how little or how big it is. I appreciate every cent, dollar, every cent. I'm actually humble. People want to hear me talk my shit.
Hey Charles, I was watching Fox today. They were talking about how in a lot of the major cities, how a lot of black police chiefs have been resigning because they've been getting flack for Black Lives Matter or with this fake shit that's called Black Lives Matter, and talking about them saying you disgrace to your people and how you a sellout. And these same people talk about defunding the police. Now these neighborhoods are practically in hell right now. And that's probably the worst thing they could ever come up with. First of all, the defunding the police, when you defund the police, you're taking away programs and incentives that the police need. instead of just defunding the police, what's so hard about just getting rid of the bad apples?
See, I've said this many a times. You got 2 to 3% who fuck up a department. Do you have some people who shouldn't have been promoted? Yes, I'll be the first motherfucker to tell you. And there's a couple of people I have in mind, but I ain't gonna snitch. And it's not because they did things illegally. It's the fact that they, like I said about who she will not be named, when you're a black female who just made sergeant and you're emasculating a black officer talking about, and you say on the radio, oh, he's like a woman, he needs 10 more minutes to get ready. I'm like, yo, if he would have said that, if he was the sergeant, he said it to you, you would have had him down at EOC.
Mm-hmm.
And
IAD too.
Yep, IAD. And then what I say about the chiefs, if I was a chief and I was a police chief, I would have a nice little meeting. I said, which one of you motherfuckers want to become police? You should be ashamed. No, you should be ashamed because you don't stand up for your heroes.
I like that evaluation.
You don't stand up for your. They be like, well, black lives do matter. Okay, prove it. Put your black life on the line and save some black people that matter.
Yep.
Oh, I get crickets. I couldn't be a police chief or police commissioner because I'll be smoking indoors and shit.
Damn, I need to become a cop then.
Like, yeah.
Hey, what?
So hopefully I'm trying my damnedest because as soon as this shit goes down, they finally gave me fucking access to the share drive where I can actually go in and put the stats of what each officer did today. Like how many times I had to get that shit, but some people automatically have access. I said that's fucking bullshit. And hopefully I get promoted where I can actually teach the next generation of police and guide them to do what the fuck they need to be done.
I hope that happens, man. We need a hell of a lot more cops like you. A hell of a lot more.
I hope so. Because it's
Facebook too. I put when this whole thing with George Floyd jumped off, I put this on Facebook. That I see everyone out there protesting in the streets and stuff, but do Black Lives Matter to Black people? And I was practically expecting to smoke. I mean, I already knew I was gonna get some smoke for it, and I was like saying, okay, all these babies and stuff getting murdered in my hometown. I don't see nobody sharing the same type of energy toward that they do for white police officers when one of them killers. But you see all these babies getting killed and stray bullets and all that stuff. I don't hear a damn thing.
And I've talked to people about that. If anybody's familiar with the Baltimore area, it's been some years ago, and I had to take over the crime scene when I got on shift, and this was in the evening. I'll never forget it. This was like around 3:00. It was so bad the fucking police commissioner had to come out, and it was a 3-year-old girl named Mackenzie Elliott. And never forget the name, Mackenzie Elliott, on 35th and Old York, around that area, where two jackasses, two dumb sons, excuse my language for a minute, folks, these two pussy-ass, punk-ass, dumb-ass, motherfucking sons of bitches arguing over because they messing around with some thought who's messing with them, instead of them saying, you know what, she's a thought, get whatever clothes we could get out of her, whatever money out of her, and leave her the fuck alone. Y'all gonna go and play some gunplay instead of fighting it out like some men, even though what are you fighting over a hoe for anyway? Wasn't that one of the some commandments? Thou shalt not fight over a hoe? If not, we'll put it in there. You start shooting up the block, and this little sweet little princess at 3 years old, who the fuck did she ever piss off, gets shot and dies instantly on playing on her porch like kids supposed to.
That don't make no damn sense.
And I'm thinking to myself, if that would have been my son who's 13, I'd have Frank Castled some motherfuckers. I'd have made the Punisher look like fucking Lamb Chop play along. And I'm just thinking, nobody wanted to say shit. No, we ain't gonna. No, no, no. That's when the community needs to stand up and say, you know what, enough's enough. There's one thing, but this is some real shit. We need to take control back of this shit. See, the one thing I got respect for St. Louis is when I forget it. I think it's St. Louis. Where did George Floyd? Where was that at?
That's Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, one of the Twin
Yeah,
Cities, right? So
yeah.
Minneapolis, you know what the black men did? They did what a warrior class is supposed to. They had the women support them. They had the women cooking, but the men had their rifles and their handguns and their shotguns, and they patrolled the city. And you know what happened? The police and the military waved at them, and they gave them food, and
That's what's up.
they thanked them for making their job easier.
You know that all I heard was about Grandmaster Jay. In fact, I don't know if he was. I don't know if he an Asian or not, but he had the right idea. That's all I'm saying.
hmm But notice you don't hear about that with black men. That debunks the argument black men doesn't protect the community, right?
Right.
Right.
That goes against that black men don't build, right? What did black men build at that moment? They build solidarity and they build fucking protection.
Yep.
They said you want to. They said you want to commit a crime in this city, you will be shot, and we will hand you over to the police.
I'll even take it back further back, and this is long before I moved out here. But even in LA, during the '92 riots, when the Bloods and Crips decided the truth and come together, and I wish it would have stayed that way. They had a similar protocol. They decided, now we ain't red or blue, we African. I mean,
hmm
even though it was temporary, they still had the right idea.
And you know what? And this might sound like some conspiracy theorist shit, but I'm gonna tell you what. I believe the reason why the truce dissolved was because of outside interference.
Yep. Yeah,
And
you're
I'll
right.
just leave. And I'll just leave it as that.
It was basically a 20th century version of COINTELPRO, because that's what they
hmm
did. COINTELPRO had these outside interferences. You got people whispering in each other's ears. That's how you had Mumia and not Bobby Seale, but Huey Newton at each other's throats. They telling Huey Newton that Bobby Seale that Mumia wanted to kill him and all that. And you had the BLA and the Black Panthers at each other. Then fast forward, you got the shit with Ron Karanga and Bunchy Carter and all that stuff. So yeah,
So I'm a big believer on that shit. Like you can't tell me that these black men said, you know what, whatever petty beefs, whatever turf wars we have, we got to protect the community. See, when I grew up in the 80s and 90s, drug dealers didn't allow you to come with them. No, take your ass to school. Here's $20, $50. Go get some toys or something. Go get some flashcards. Be better than us.
Right.
right.
And what makes it crazy is that you had families who you didn't even know they sold drugs, so they told you. Oh yeah, I used to sell drugs. What the fuck you sell drugs? Oh, back in the day, you didn't know it. Shit, we didn't make rap videos about what we did. We just survived.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you got to look at the infiltration of the fucking music industry, especially the black music industry. Am I supposed to believe that all these motherfuckers sold drugs? Get the fuck out of here. Y'all more choreographed than modern day pro wrestling.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't sell the
Yeah.
drug. I mean, of course they don't. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with Charles.
Yeah, they don't sell the drugs, but I mean, it's these corporations, these labels that are telling them, hey, we're gonna get you this 360 deal, and in the contract, we're gonna need you to make like 3 to 4 albums talking nothing about drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't realize like what are in these. You need a good lawyer, and before you know it, I mean, within like the second, I would say, album they're doing, they're like, man, I get, they wanted this, but I'm more of a conscious rapper, but I still got to talk about this stuff. Like, it's crazy. And you know what else gets me is See, I'm from Los Angeles as well, and Aaron Collins, you may be familiar with Arlington and Adams.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I've been living in LA for 7 years. I'm originally from Chicago, but I know about Arlington and then Adams. South Central is pretty gentrified now, but
Yeah, it's pretty bad over there. But yeah, there was a brother that I was talking to. I'm 32, and the kid was like, he was like 19, and me and him are waiting at the bus stop, and I can tell like something was wrong with him. I was trying to mind my business, but no, he's just kind of turning his head over, trying to. He just looked really like something didn't look right. So I'm doing my thing. A bus comes, I let him get on first, and I can tell he was crying. So on the bus ride from my job, from the bus stop to work, I sat down and talked with the kid. And long story short, what gets me is there's such a lack of education within the community that black men have no direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets to me because I'm a product of my environment as well. Like when I listen to like BGS's or even Ron Wills or even you, like it means a lot to me because I didn't have a father figure growing up. Since birth, I was ridiculed and despised by women. So for the longest, I had to grow up with a hatred for women. But as I grew up, I was like, you know what? Not all women, it's just the women that I live with. But there is a nature to women as well that I had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing I learned is, like, if it's crazy.
Trust me, I know
Not
that.
knowing that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
That's all good, man. It's the fact that like you grow up with like these blonde hair and blue eyed heroes, and you're like, man, I hope one day so and so's gonna save me. But it doesn't work like that. Not for the black kid. The black kid, you grow up, it's like, well, who are my heroes? Like I didn't know about Black Panther honestly until like, and not the movie, but like the character himself until like let's say 16. And I'm like, damn, like I didn't know that kid. Like all the Black Bolt, Static Shock, all in my teens. I should have been knew about these kids.
So I could tell you a millennial because you call Static Shock, and his name's Static.
That's true. I am a millennial, sir. I'm not.
And it's funny. It's funny. Shout out to the late great brother Dwayne McDuffie, who gave you Static and Static Shock, the cartoon series. He gave you Icon. He gave you Hardware, who was imagine a pro black ain't taking shit from nobody. Iron Man, that's Hardware. So you're talking about, and they're making a comeback in DC because hey, diversity sells, and it's crazy because I love it when. I'll go back a little bit about Icon. So they Icon original. Icon was a strict conservative.
Oh, wow.
And his if you want to go, there's a channel on here named Comic Tropes, and he talks about Dwayne McDuffie and his career. And he talked about, and Dwayne McDuffie was given an interview. It was a cover that DC and a lot of the higher ups was like iffy on. And it was the issue where Static lost his virginity, where you see them kissing on the couch and you can plainly see condoms on the floor.
Right.
Which was also a story not only about black love, but it was also about safe sex, because this was during the 90s and the HIV and AIDS epidemic was roaring. So they kind of covered it up with a heart, and you could see them two kissing, but it was a black heart around them. So it tackled some real issues because you got this black conservative icon who's basically like black conservative Superman with his liberal, growing up in the urban environment, teenage rocket.
Right.
and she actually became pregnant. So Icon did what old school fathers, figures, uncles, and big brothers would do. He found the motherfucker that got her pregnant and said, "Look, you got her pregnant. You better take care of her and that baby."
Right.
See, the reason why we didn't have single motherhood is because we had great black fathers who said, "Oh, you got my baby pregnant. You broke it. You buy it."
That's real talk right there.
And this was in a fucking comic book. So when you have books like that for little kids and teenagers to read, does that not change the influence of how your children are?
Yeah.
Because I have a rule every day in my house. My son must read 10 comic books a day. Or you got to read the big back books, the hardback books. I don't care. You're reading a lot. Whatever words you have trouble with, write them down and figure out the pronunciations. If you're having trouble, come to me and I'll write it down for you phonetically. So imagine reading that book and a young black man reads this and saying, "You know what? I'm going through some issues. I might have this girl pregnant," as a teenager, and when he sees Icon saying "step up and be a man," what do you think that's going to convince that kid to? What do you think the influences are going to be for him? But once again, black men don't build. I said, wait a minute, black men don't build. You enjoyed the Batman the animated series, right? The Justice League, right? Ben 10, right? You like watching that with your sons, right? Yeah, I like Static Shock. I remember that cartoon. That was a black man who built all that. The DC animated universe was built off the mind and the back of a black man.
Mhm.
And there are some DC animated fucking movies are better than Marvel movies. And this started off the mind of a black man.
Yep.
Powerful, man.
Aaron Magruder, he's another one too. I got respect for. I wish he would. I wish he didn't step off with the Boondocks, but Boondocks that was a show right there.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about, see, you know what's crazy about, and it's still, and no matter what we talk about, it always go back to the subject point. That's what I love about this show. Think about it. Robert S. Smith, the richest black man in America, most likely the richest black man in the world, maybe. But it's funny. He literally financially liberated 400 Morehouse students. If he would have done that for fucking Spelman, nobody would have complained. Well, because he did it for nothing but 400 black young men, guess what the focus was from a lot of chicks. Oh, his wife is white. But y'all don't pay attention to the black wife that he set up perfectly. He made sure that black wife, when they got divorced, and she had his black kids, that she was well off. You didn't hear him complain about she taking whatever money. He says, "Good, thank you for all you did, and best of luck on your future endeavors. I'm gonna get a wife. I'm gonna get a beautiful wife. I'm gonna get her younger than me." Blasey. Well, Robert F. Smith ain't this, ain't that. Could you get a Robert F. Smith? No. Then shut the fuck up. Could you pay off all the debt for 400 students? No. Then definitely shut the fuck up. How the hell are you talking about what a man graciously did, which he didn't have to do, and he liberated? I mean, he literally gave them their fucking freedom papers. A lot of you chicks are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for a bachelor's you're not even using. And I'm like this, well, where are the good black men? None of y'all chicks went to Morehouse to start picking off? Oh no, I want that one. Yep. I tell you, man. I tell you, it's so easy that a caveman could do it. And we're not cavemen because we're the original man. See, we don't worry about the offshoots. And it goes to show you, no matter how much you build, they want to see a brick and mortar. But nobody ever talks about the fact that you living in this big great house where your grandmother lives. That was a black guy who fought a war, used his VA housing loan to buy the motherfucker, and he dies, you know, 20, 30, 40 years prior to grandma, and it was off of his back and his good work that you got it. But we don't build. Think about it. After World War II was one of the greatest economic booms for black people because all these veterans were buying houses and getting jobs because of their veterans benefits. So once again, I mean, I'm not sure what type of art you do, John, but think about it. Every time you draw, because I draw as well, are you not creating?
Of course.
For all I know, you could be the next goddamn Stan Lee or Jack Kirby.
Yeah, that Kirby and Stanley, that was the team right there.
I mainly do Western, Western style.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Like I would love to see a black Western. You know, it'd be like tell the true story of what black men were. A lot of black men were cowboys back in the day. They don't tell you that shit.
The only true Western movie I think I ever saw was Posse. Melvin Van Peebles, no, Mario Van Peebles directed it, and that was the only true actual black Western I could think of.
Because you got to look at history. A lot of those freed slaves were like, "Yo, we got this money. We're gonna go out west to get the fuck away from this racism." And a lot of money and a lot of ranching been done by blacks. Think about it.
Yep.
We like when we talk about black heroes and law enforcement. I better hear motherfuckers talk about Bass Reeves.
Yeah, Bass Reeves. One of the most iconic black cowboys I can think of would be Cherokee Bill. Bill Pickett.
Think about it. Every black officer wished to be Bass Reeves. This motherfucker was so thorough, he locked up his son.
Damn.
Damn.
Come here, boy.
Buy the book.
Buy the book. He said, "You want to talk about devout Christian man?" He said, "I know I taught you better than this. You got to have your day around the court." And you know what his son said? He said, "I thank my father." He says, "My father didn't even." He said, "Well, he said I did something my father told me not to do, and I paid for it."
Right.
Yep. One of the first back have. Yep. And see, a lot of people don't know that history because we're always told to have this adversarial approach, which, if you read the Gray Faulkner Initiative, which I'm going to put up there again.
Hey, Charles, I've been wanting to ask you this question. Are you any relation to Gray Faulkner?
To who?
To Gray Faulkner.
Gray Faulkner?
Yeah, are you relation?
Not that I know of. Well, you said where you found that person?
Oh no, the last name Faulkner.
No, not that I know of, but probably down the line somewhere.
Right.
Probably down the line somewhere. I probably got somebody. They'd be like, because most Faulkners are related. They'd be like, God damn.
And then Faulkner is not really a common last name either.
Well, you got to think, I'm also the fourth generation to go to war, so anywhere in the 20th and the 21st century we had a war, there was a Faulkner kicking somebody's ass somewhere.
Yep. And then I heard you mention Cerulean Gray earlier, and I figured another theory could be a combination of you and him coming together with y'all's philosophies. Because I like listening to Cerulean Gray also. That's my dude right there. I support the Gray regime 100%.
Mm-mm-mm. Hello?
Hey, man, I'm still here.
All right.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here.
Yeah, man, yeah.
I said when you
I,
hear him, when you hear Cerulean speak, I mean that dude speaks so like that dude is like walking black excellence, man.
mhm.
Yeah, Cerulean Gray, when he talks, he just has this way of going over your head. You don't even know he's going over your head.
Yeah.
But but there's black excellence right here.
Oh yeah.
True that.
All you guys are excellent in my book. Shit.
We do too. Yeah. And
Like,
I
All
think
you guys. Go ahead.
no, go.
I wasn't finished. I was just agreeing.
True that.
quick question. What do you think about that Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz fight coming up? I got Gervonta.
Come on, man. I'm a Baltimorean. Who you think I'm going for?
Right. You know you go for Giovanni.
You know I'm going for the man. I hope this is a bigger. I can't wait till his last fight was a very challenging fight, which I like because I've seen him go through a little adversity. He went some more rounds, so I wish him nothing but success. I pray that Mayweather will be a great influence and guide him to stay out of some trouble.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I really hope that he can be another shining beacon of Baltimorean greatness.
Yeah.
And I would love to see him. I hope one day I get to see him versus Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's what I want to see too, yo.
That would be a hell of a fight, especially once he gets his. Well, he's already experienced, but I just want to see him go against Lomachenko and prove that he's the better fighter.
If he keeps training with Floyd, I think he can wash Loma, and that's gonna because Floyd was so tactical to where like Floyd was playing chess. I say
Yeah,
that because okay,
yeah, he's a tactician, man.
yeah, like Floyd he would get hit with shots, but the shots that he would get hit with would either go, maybe to like the shoulder. He'll probably turn with a punch. Just pawns really. He'll sacrifice his pawns in order to get, your bishop, your rook, or even your king and queen out the way.
Uh-huh.
He dominated so well, and his footwork was so immaculate. I'm like, okay, well, if he trains Tank Davis, like the footage that they showed a couple days ago of him hitting the pads, but he implemented footwork with that, he can Tank be able to cut off Lomachenko in the ring.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He plays the ring game and he goes for his strengths and neutralize a lot of stuff that Lomachenko does. I mean, oh my god. And then you got to remember, Tank is so young. He's not even in his grown man's body yet.
It's true. He's what, 22, 23?
Yeah. He hasn't even reached his strength and physical body, his physical man body yet. So that's a scary dude.
Yeah, because he's knocking everybody out.
Shit. We're about to do some last thoughts. We're going to start with Jonathan, then we're going to go to underrated, then we're going to go to Aaron, and then Chaos, then myself. Let's go.
All right, last thoughts. Well, you know what? Really, I just want to say thank you for inviting me on, to join the chat or the panel. I respect everybody on here. Again, first time, and still a little nervous, but eventually I'll get that out the way. But I'm looking, forward to joining more panels in the future.
Oh, yes. Don't be a stranger. We'll always love it. If you got a YouTube channel, pimp it out.
Nah,
we'll get you. We're going to, since you're an artist, we're going to get you to do it. We're going to be nudging you like, man, what's up with those drawings, man? What's up with them drawings? Damn, I got to moderate Real Aaron Collins just did. Just moderated him. Underrated. Last thoughts?
I can say, thanks again. And black men, we are great in our own way. We remember that. We built this country in every level. Let's build up the brotherhood.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it.
Woo, yes, sir. Aaron Collins. What's up, man?
Yeah, what's going on, man? I mean, man, I appreciate coming on. This is my first time on Charles' panel, and man, this is actually this is a good build. Men being men, we talk about the things that we want, and this is I mean, we learn the difference between true femininity and true masculinity. Men would be real men, when women would be real women, and vice versa. I mean, because any real man is going well being around a lady. I mean, because when I get married, I want to be married to a lady, not another man. If that makes any
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep. Definitely appreciate the love and the support. And just in case, Jonathan, there's a copy. If you type in the PDF where I put it in, that's the Gray Faulkner Initiative. For anybody who wants to take a copy of it, put it in your PDF files. It fits right on your phone. Share it with your people. And tell me what you think, because it's a great goddamn plan. Chaos. Hey,
Appreciate that,
Chaos,
man.
you there? Chaos, you there? Chaos might be sleeping. But I'm going to just say this. See, the black man has always built from ancient Kemet all the way up to the modern day in 2020. We're the glue that holds society together. What society? Any society. We are great. We are born of greatness. We are the epitome of greatness. And we shall beget greatness in the future. How do we build? We keep doing what we're doing. We're forward thinkers, and we let no type of adversity. It may set us back, but it will never keep us down. Never ever pray for a lighter load. Always pray to the Creator for a stronger back, because greater power is in you. And I'll leave you with these last few words. Your greatest fear is not that you're inadequate. Your greatest fear is that you cannot believe that you're powerful beyond belief. Black men, black women, it's time to get the team back in order. May the Creator and the ancestors bless you greatly. And on 3, we're going to give a shout out to a woo. 1, 2, 3. Woo! And we're out. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for the panel. Woo! Tune in for the next one. And we out.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.